Heyo. 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 Okay, come on now. Got to get those vocal folds going. Howdy. Welcome. We did a lot of musical segments yesterday. Yesterday was basically could be considered a musical. Some kind of metaversal musical. Maybe even an opera. Because it was an emotional episode. It was a very special Z show. There was some laughter, some tears. There were some endearing moments. And here we are, back again. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. I would say all are welcome. I mean, I guess I could say that. Now, whether or not I actually mean it, like authentically, I'm not even sure. But I really can't stop you from being here. I guess that's the whole point of YouTube. Social media in general, you know. So either way, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. That's right. Get it going. I'm not a smoker, although I have a theory that smoking cigarettes actually improves one's vocal quality and vocal tone. Up until a point, then it goes bad. And I'm going to explain. Because if you examine every great singer throughout history, you know, those with the golden voice, the ones that have it, guess what? They all smoked cigarettes. Yeah, isn't that weird? I'm going to prove it to you. Frank Sinatra, cigarette smoker. Golden voice. Adele. Adele may have one of the best voices of the last, 20 years. Cigarette smoker. That's right. Whitney Houston. Maybe the greatest voice of all time that we know of. Smoker. Cigarette smoker. On and on. I can keep going. They all smoke cigarettes. Dean Martin appeared to be a chain smoker. That there's something about the quality of tobacco smoking that just lends to one's vocal quality. It's very strange. Until it doesn't. You hit a point and then it's like downhill from there. But I need to look into that. I know a little something about the subject, about how sound vocalizations are produced, the different qualities of sound. I know a little something about that, guys. Just a little. Meaning I spent a good portion of my life dedicated to studying the science behind those things. And I'm still fascinated. Why does cigarette smoking improve one's singing voice? Maybe I should take up cigarettes. What do you think, Lizzo French? Are you there? Should I start smoking? I don't think Nathan smokes. And he has a great voice, although not everybody agrees. Not everybody's a fan of Nathan. I am. Super fan. I'm a Nathan super fan. Nathan, you're my Abba. How's that? Yeah. 8 people just got that joke. So yeah, maybe I'll take up smoking. I smoke cannabis, but I really want to quit. I took a couple hits of the bowl yesterday, right? And and then I was taking a shower afterwards, and like I couldn't breathe and stuff because it was like very humid. So like the bathroom was humid, and I had just smoked. And the truth is, I was like breathing fine, but like in my head, like it felt like I couldn't breathe, and I started like fucking bugging out a little bit, and I'm like. This is why I can't smoke weed. And then everybody makes fun of me like I'm some pussy. Because it seems like all you guys are just constantly smoking the ganja like all day long. And then I'm like, yeah, I take 1 or 2 hits and I'm like out of it and stuff. And then I'm like, no, I don't really want to smoke anymore. I don't want to inhale this fucking smoke. Like I'm over it. Maybe I should go back to eating the edibles and stuff. Whatever. Either way, welcome everybody. Maybe we'll have some sing-alongs today. Maybe people could join in. Either way, welcome. Oh, music holds a secret. It's funny. Comes in every morning and leaves musical quotes. And music holds a secret referenced one of my favorite Queen songs. Play the game. Open up your heart and let me step inside. Rest your weary head and let your heart decide. It's so easy. All you have to do is fall in love. Play the game. Everybody play the game. The game of love. It's one of my favorite Queen songs, musical. How did you know music holds a secret? How did you know? I'm not going to try to sing that song because Freddie hits those high notes that I can't even approach. Not right now, especially. Maybe later we'll sing Play the Game. One of my favorites. Long live Queen. All right, let's start the show. Here we are. Welcome, everybody. Let's do the opening. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Grin Rising and Grin Approach, and welcome back to the show that never ends. That's right, guys. You found your way to the Z Show. And I'm Z. There's my letter, which is my name. My name's a letter. So welcome. And we're broadcasting live and in living color all around the Love of Horizontal Realm. Right from my home into yours. What an amazing technology we have here. That I could sit here in my domicile. I could use this technology and we can connect wherever you are. Hey, maybe you're not home. Maybe you're out driving around, which even makes it more amazing that we could just connect like this. Isn't it beautiful? This is the good side of technology. But there's the other side of that coin. Because, yeah, we can communicate here instantaneously. But the other side of that coin is, worldwide destruction and complete cataclysm. You can't really have one without the other. If you have the technology like this computer technology, by necessity, there's the other side of it, which is, the big bombs and all the war machine weapons, etc. Everybody thinks they want to have their cake and eat it too, because you guys all want your computers. You want this. You want the conveniences of modern technology. But of course, nobody wants the other side. So they go, hey, I know a solution. Bigger government. Let's cede more of our authority to some overarching control structure. And then they'll manage it. That way we'll be able to have like all this fancy technology, but not all the war and destruction and bombs and stuff that comes from it. Doesn't work like that, guys. It's the proverbial double-edged sword, really. You can't have one without the other. It just doesn't work. Like I said, unless you want complete 1984 Orwellian New World Order despotic control, then maybe you could have the technology without all that other, war stuff. But hey, I don't know. Maybe that's what you want. Not me, but what do I know? These are the paradoxes of life. People want to make things so simple. That's another thing, guys. If you're listening to somebody and they're giving you some kind of simple answer, and like they know the simple answer that they're giving you, and you can only get it through them, maybe pay attention a little bit more to who you're listening to, how that may be affecting you. Because there's no perfection in this world. And as the one and only Bob Zimmerman, Bob Dylan said, there are no truths outside the gates of Eden. Take that how you want it. I interpret it as there's no truths within this physical construct. Truth may exist in the abstract, in the objective at some point, in the ideal, so to speak. But even to approach that ultimate truth here in this seemingly fallen realm, well, seems a bit ambitious. Probably not reasonable. But hey, what do I know? Who's here? This is the fun part where I get to go and see who's here. Mental Pancakes, first one in the house this morning. Much love, much love. Followed by the Bear Jew, Uncle Rick. Greetings and salutations, sir. We already said hi to Music Holds the Secret. Much love, much love. Yeah, Uncle Rick. Carole King wrote a lot of great songs, if she even wrote them, but they're attributed to her. And then Sonny, Uncle Rick says, now on the other hand, the Tavistock Institute wrote a lot of Beatles songs, just saying. Yeah, a lot of us know that story, Uncle Rick. Much love. Ting Ting Shinny, with that interesting name in the house. Good to see you. Nuba, checking in with his Nuba Nighttime over there in Australia. Jim Peltier is here. He says he hopes that I do the Benowitz table time. We'll see if it comes up, Jim. Stand by. Capricorny, much love. Benton in the house. Much love, Benton. What's your story, Benton? What's going on with you, dude? I hear a lot of cryptic things from you, Benton, regarding you in general. I don't want to speak out of school, sir, but is Benton going to end up being like this? Are you going to get like a cult follow? I don't mean like Benton starting a cult, like some people around here, who I don't have to mention. I think it's obvious. I'm saying, but I'm wondering because Benton apparently is in some kind of state of declining health. So Benton, if you do indeed pass away, pass off this realm, I'm wondering if like all your broadcasts will then become like almost like you'll get a cult following. Um, Benton, like some artists are never really recognized until they pass on, and then they look at their art and they're like, this guy was a fucking genius. Is that what you're going for, Benton? Are you trying to lay down your stuff and then if you pass on from this realm, you know, we'll be able to recognize you as the subtle genius that you may be. I don't know. Benton, talk to me, Benton. See how I think about these things? See, a lot of you guys, you'll just turn Benton on and you'll watch him. Well, he's kind of cool, and you'll move on with your day, and then you'll go watch, like, I don't know, like Caged Realities broadcast or Christos when he does a broadcast once every 3 months. But I look at Benton and I go, oh, I think there's something there. Benton's going for something. I don't know, Benton. Did I just make up the whole weird scenario in my mind, or help me out, dude? Anyway, much love, dude. Much love. B Warrior, alias Bobby, in the house. He said, welcome to the big show. That's right, Bobby. We spoke to you yesterday, Bobby. It was a great conversation. It was elucidating, enlightening, and otherwise. We learned that even a 75-year-old man can simp really hard. And then we discovered the consequences of such and said simping. Anyway, Bobby, much love, much love. I think I might have said hi to Capricorni. Either way, welcome. Sovereign Mist. Yeah, coming at you, Sovereign Mist. He says, how's Z today? I'm well. I'm well, my friend. How are you, Sovereign Mist? Much love. There's Heidi, Divine Spirit 313, the lovely Heidi. Heidi says, Bobby, interesting you got in your head about it. You're not a simp. You're alive. I find you endearing. Well, I also find Bobby endearing, Heidi, but it doesn't take away objectively that whether or not he is a simp, that's just we can conjecture. Can anybody be anything? It's just a label. However, we can say this for sure. His behaviors regarding the lovely the lovely dollar store checkout girl, Tamra, his behaviors were very simp-like. So whether or not he indeed is a simp, I think is probably less relevant than addressing the objective fact that he's behaving in a very simp-like fashion. Just saying, Heidi. What do I know? Who else is here? Ozalbaha says, what up, y'all? All right, let me try to take some time to read your name right. You have a O that's on flame, that's on fire, so you're lampooning my icon. Okay. But your name is Ozil Bahat. I don't know. Much love, though. I'm going to move on. D'Angelo in house. Truth Hurts TV. Much love, much love. London Man. He said, Grand Rising Ganja, baby. Ganja. Ganja's a nice name for cannabis. It's a good one. It's a good one. Who else is here? Mad Mac in the house. Dave O, much love. I think I said hi to D'Angelo. Much love. Benton says I'm dying of various illnesses. All right, Benton. Again, more cryptic, but much love, dude. That's sorry to hear that, dude. And like I said, hey, Benton. I get it, man. Can I have rights to all your material, Benton, when you pass on? I'll go through and I'll like chop it up, but I'll do like a whole Benton montage of all your greatest, your greatest insights and stuff. Can I have access to your works after you're gone, Benton. I could be like the curator. Can we do this, Benton? Can I be the curator of your you know, can you give me power of attorney over all your work? I'll treat your work with the venerance it deserves, Benton. I'm just saying. Much love, though, dude. All joking aside. If you pass, Benton, I'll give you the same send-off that I gave OTW's friend Frank yesterday. I'll give you a better one, though, Benton. If you pass, I'll dedicate the whole show to you. I'd only hope you would do the same for me, sir. Can we make a deal, Benton? Whichever one of us passes off of this realm first, the other one has to do like a whole tribute show to the individual. I'm just saying. What do I know? Mark Harrison, much love. Welcome. Jack's dreaming. Benton says he's an open book. He says he can come up if you want. Well, Benton, if you're still here when I drop the link, which won't be too shortly because I've been yammering on here for a while, maybe we'll talk, dude. Jay in the house. Much love, Jay. Moose, the producer Moose in the house. Yeti Life, good to see you. Good to see you. Looks like I'm catching up closer to real time here. Bear Juice says, simping is caring. I don't know, Uncle Rick. I don't know. Our pool in the house. Much love. Benton said, Z, I also did a podcast about dating and relationships from a male perspective in like 2010. Wow. So cool. You're onto it, dude. Yeah, Benton, we've talked and I've seen your thoughts regarding that whole subject. You and I seem to be pretty, I guess, copacetic when it comes to that, homie. No doubt. Yeah, he says he won't go to doctors. Maybe we'll talk this morning, Benton. Maybe we'll talk. Benton says, all I need is a place to sleep and stream, and you can have whatever's left after I pass. You guys heard it here. It's in writing. I'm going to put it on the screen so everybody sees it. Benton, this counts as a somewhat of a tacit contract. Can we say that at least? Would that be an appropriate term to use? Implicit, maybe? Maybe even more than implied. I don't know. You heard it all here, guys. Like I said, Benton, I'll give your content the venerance that it deserves, brother. Just saying. Benton says, please don't lionize me after my passing. I would like to remember for the asshole that I am. Benton, I think there's been other figures in history that have made that same comment, and then they get promoted to deity, you know. Didn't Jesus like say the same thing? And look what happened to him, dude. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that Benton's Jesus, but you guys get the picture. And then here, all right, Benton. See, Uncle Rick is doing the thing, Benton, that I know annoys you because it annoys me too. He's trying to give you solutions, bro. And I get it, Uncle Rick. I don't mean to get loud with you, but I know Benton's going to agree with me on this one because he and I resonate on the same one. Uncle, it's the tendency, Benton, for people to like try to problem solve for you, which they're just projecting. Like Uncle Rick says, Benton, you need to detox and build your immune system, vitamins and minerals. Uncle Rick, do you think Benton's never heard? Benton, you're going to have to come up and talk to me this morning, dude. Uncle Rick, do you think he's never heard that before? Do you think he lacks the intelligence to understand the very basic thing that you just said? It's not helpful to do what you just did there. Damn, am I going to have to drop the link for Benton already? I'm going to try to hold off. I want you to remember this, though, Benton. I want to talk about this if you come up, what Uncle Rick just did. And Uncle Rick, I love you, and I'm sure Benton is fond of you, too. I don't want to speak for him, but what you just did there is you being uncomfortable, Uncle Rick, with the idea of death and passing on because you're no spring chicken. You just projected your internal space onto Benton there by trying to give him advice. He doesn't need advice, dude. Maybe he just needs to talk. Maybe he just needs to be around people where he can kind of feel a sense of belonging, and not us give him every little advice to try to improve his health that he probably already knows. He might know more than you and I, Uncle Rick. I'm just saying, man. I don't know. I'm gonna move on. I love you, Uncle Rick. I know you came from a good place with that, but that thing you just did, I'm making an example for people. Come on. Anyway, Heidi says I've recently ignited my heart again, letting the sickness fall away. It's wonderful, Heidi. Fuck. And then Benton, it's so funny, Ben. I didn't even see what you wrote to Uncle Rick, but I'm going to read it now. He said, Uncle Rick, Bear Jew, I've already done and am doing everything that I can. Please, sir, no health advice. All right. So you did agree with me. Much love, everybody. All right. Yeah. Benton, our pool wants your equipment if you pass. He's interested in that microphone and that laptop you use, probably, whatever. Oh, man. Yeah. Benton says, Z, I call it the loop into problem solving, and almost everybody does it. Yeah. Yeah. You know what it is, Benton? It's a defense mechanism because um, these conversations about mortality and health, they make us feel emotionally uncomfortable inside. And instead of just recognizing the discomfort, which likely stems from the realization of our own mortality, people then transition into, like you said, the looping of the problem solving. It's an emotional defense mechanism that one employs to deal with the discomfort of the thought. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right on. Uncle, Uncle Rick the Bear Juice says no problem. Yeah. He says I'll shut the fuck up, no problem. Then you see Uncle Rick feels insulted now, right? That then he has to respond or react and say I'll shut the fuck up. It's not about shutting up, Uncle Rick. It's not what it's about, dude. Ryan Johnson in the house. Much love to you, Ryan. Yeah. Glyph, much love. Yeah. It's okay, everybody. Yeah, Ben, we'll talk to you in a bit, dude. If you feel inclined to come up, we can keep the vibe going. But I don't want to drop the link this early. It's too much when I do that. Look what happened yesterday. I dropped the link early, and then we went through the whole Patrick thing. Which I thought was touching and nice. Much love, Patrick from OTW News. He's a sensitive soul, everyone. Our friend Patrick. A lot of people are sensitive. A lot of people are sensitive. Apparently, I need to be more sensitive, you know? Like when other content creators can't stop, like, coming after me, you know? But then people tell me that it's, like, my fault for, like, saying things about them. Like Moose said yesterday, I was apparently punching down at certain content creators. Maybe you're right, Moose. Maybe I need to be more sensitive, you know. I don't know. Our pool says Talcott did OTW dirty last night. What do you mean, our pool? What did I miss there? Do I even care? I love Jack. Jack pipes up on my comments every once in a while, and he reminds me I'm always welcome over on his show. Jack even said to me he's trying to adjust his sleeping schedule so he can try to be here more. But I always say to him, Jack, don't worry about it, Jack. We'll have plenty of opportunities to talk. If the fates are willing, Jack. If our destiny is such. You don't have to adjust your sleep schedule, brother. Just take it how it comes, dude. The metaverse is never ending. It's 24/7, dude. There's people all over the world watching this shit all the time, dude. So just do your thing, bro. What are you saying? Our pool says Jack mocked OTW for crying about his fallen friend. Oh, I don't know. Honestly, our pool, I don't believe that. That doesn't sound like something Jack would do. That may be some type of exaggeration there. Yeah. Much love, Mr. Talcott. Since we're talking about Jack, let's play a Jack clip, and then we'll move on. A Jack and Zetetic Warrior clip. Some of you have seen this before. Others may not have, but Jack's on our mind. I'll be back in a little bit, everybody. Hold on. Let's do the Jack thing. I'm inspired to play this. If you guys don't know Jack Talcott, this is him. And Zetetic Warrior. And you guys can figure out what it's all about. Don't go anywhere. Or do. Either way, I'll be back. Colonel, the 6 a.m. flight, was that the first one off the base?
Yes.
There wasn't a flight that left 7 hours earlier and landed at Andrews Air Force Base at 2 a.m.?
Lieutenant, I think we've covered this, haven't we?
I'll be calling Airman Cecil O'Malley and Airman Anthony Perez. They were working the ground crew at Andrews at 2 a.m. on the 7th.
Your Honor, these men weren't on the list.
Rebuttal witnesses, Your Honor, are called specifically to refute testimony offered under direct examination.
I'll allow the witnesses.
This is ridiculous.
Colonel, a moment ago...
Check the tower logs, for Christ's sake.
We'll get to the airman in just a minute, sir. A moment ago, said that you ordered Kendrick to order his men not to touch Santiago.
That's right.
And Kendrick was clear on what you wanted?
Crystal.
Any chance Kendrick ignored the order?
Ignored the order?
Any chance he forgot about it?
No.
Any chance Kendrick left your office and said, the old man's wrong?
No.
When Kendrick spoke to the platoon and ordered them not to touch Santiago, any chance they ignored him?
Have you ever spent time in an infantry unit, son?
No, sir.
Ever served in a forward area?
No, sir.
Ever put your life in another man's hands? Ask him to put his life in yours?
No, sir.
We follow orders, son. We follow orders or people die. It's that simple. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Are we clear?
Crystal. Just one more question before I call Airman O'Malley and Airman Perez. If you gave an order that Santiago wasn't to be touched, then why would he be in danger? Why would it be necessary to transfer him off base?
Private Santiago was a substandard Marine. He was being transferred off the base because,
You said he was being transferred because he was in grave danger.
yes, that's correct. But
You said he was in danger. I said grave danger, and you said,
hey, dumbass,
I can have the court reporter read back your...
I know what I said. I don't need it read back to me like I'm a damn.
Then why the two orders, Colonel? Why did you...
Sometimes men take matters into their own hands.
No, sir. You made it clear just a moment ago that your men never take matters into their own hands. Your men follow orders or people die. So Santiago shouldn't have been in any danger at all. Should he have, Colonel?
You're a fucking dumbass.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
If Kendrick told his men that Santiago wasn't to be touched, then why did he have to be transferred, Colonel? Kendrick ordered the code red, didn't he? Because that's what you told Kendrick to do. And when it went bad, you cut those guys loose. You had Markinson sign a phony transfer order. You doctored the logbooks. I'll ask for the fourth time. You ordered
You don't have to answer that question.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled to them.
You want answers?
I want the truth.
Hey, dumbass. You can't handle the truth. Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. Who's going to do it? You? You, Lieutenant Weinberg? You're a fucking clown. I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. You weep for Santiago and you curse the Marines. You have that luxury. You have the luxury of not knowing what I know, that Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives. And my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives. You don't want the truth because deep down in places you don't talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. You need me there. We use words like honor, code, loyalty. We use these words as a backbone to a life spent defending something. You use them as a punchline. I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom I provide, then questions the manner in which I provide it. I'd prefer you just said thank you and went on your way. Otherwise, I suggest you pick up a weapon and stand a post. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you're entitled to. Dumbass.
Did you order the code red?
I did the job you sent me to do.
Did you order the code red?
You're goddamn right I did.
Please the court, I suggest the jury be dismissed so that we can move to an immediate Article 39A section. The witness has rights.
Captain Ross.
Jack?
The members of the court will retire to an anteroom until further instructed.
All right. What the hell's going on? Captain, what the hell's going on? I did my job. I'll do it again. Now I'm getting on a plane. I'm going back to my base.
You're not going anywhere, Colonel.
What the hell?
Captain Ross.
You have the right to remain silent.
I'm going to tear your eyes right out of your head and piss in your dead skull. You fucked with the wrong Marine. I saved lives. I saved lives. You hear me?
Colonel Jessup, do you understand these rights as I've just read them to you?
You! You fucking people. You have no idea how to defend a nation. All you did was weaken a country today, Kathy. That's all you did. You put people in danger. Sweet dreams, son.
Don't call me son. I'm a lawyer and an officer of the United States Navy, Zetetic warrior. But you can just call me Z. And you're under arrest, you son of a bitch. The witness is excused.
This one's for Neo. John.
Yeah. That was A Few Good Men, featuring your friends, Jack Talcott, and me. That's right. You can't handle the truth, everybody. Much love. Much love. before we go into the open panel portion of the show, let's do a little educational segment since we were talking about health this morning. And no, I'm not going to be giving you medical advice, Benton. This is in general. I actually had this up. I was going to talk about this yesterday, but let's talk about it now. So, where's my camera? There we go. So as many of you know, I'm like constantly on this journey to, refine myself, my behaviors, my practices, the way I live, the way I eat, my sleeping habits, and recently, I'm trying to clean my diet. Let's put it like this, guys. And I used to eat a lot of Asian food for certain reasons in my life. But I over recent years, I've stopped and I've gone more towards like traditional food and stuff. But I'm trying to get back on the bandwagon. And one of the foods I like particularly when it comes to East Asian cuisine is the South Korean dish kimchi. And so last week I took a ride, and there's a Korean store in my area. It's a little distant. It's a little bit of a ride to get there, but I went and I picked up some kimchi, and no MSG or pool, no. And I wanted to talk about it because I've been eating it for a couple days, and like I could already feel the benefits of it in some ways, and it kind of got me thinking. It kind of got me thinking that, can food be used as medicine? Food is medicine. And that's a weird way to look at things, guys, because it's not medicine. It's just food. So when you say food is medicine, you're looking through things from a particular paradigm. It really is just about a holistic understanding of you, your health, and how that's all related to your environment, which is also the things you consume. So I want to talk about the benefits of this particular food called kimchi, which really is about the benefits of fermented foods. And I'll do this from time to time here, and then eventually I'm going to compile this into like a nutritional series and stuff. Christy Lee Doll says, don't need medicine with the right foods. Yeah, exactly. Uncle Rick said, I haven't been sick in years. Glyph says, kimchi and fermented foods in general is very healthy for the gut. Yeah, that's why I want to talk about it. I like to use these segments to present stuff like this. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the benefits of fermented foods, particularly this kimchi, which is a South Korean dish. And some of you may know, I was, let's say I was in a relationship with somebody who was half South Korean, and that's how I was introduced to this particular dish. And so let's go into it a little bit. Let me pull this up real quick. And then we'll move on. And then maybe Benton will come up and talk to us if he wants. It doesn't have to be all about Benton, but he was a prominent topic of conversation this morning. So, I don't know. Let's get into it. Where is it? Come on. Let's see, this is where things are disappearing on me now. So I tag articles, but sometimes if they get removed, let's get this up. Yeah, it's called 9 Surprising Benefits. 9 Surprising Benefits of Kimchi. And it's like, I haven't like checked the source and stuff. I mean, this article comes from Healthline. This is one of these standard articles, so not medical advice, everybody. But let's go into it. Let's do it. 9 surprising benefits of kimchi. Yeah, Benton, fine. One-on-one. That's cool. All right, let's go into it. Nine surprising benefits of kimchi. Yeah, I know. I already read the title. Let's go with it. Kimchi is a traditional Korean dish made with salted fermented vegetables. It is nutrient dense, contains probiotics, and may help support the immune system and reduce inflammation, among many possible benefits. I mean, that tells you right there, guys. I mean, supports immune system. My article's glitching out. Stop. All right, yeah. Historically, oh my God, they're just throwing up ads and cookies. I can't take. All right. Historically, it has always been possible to grow fresh vegetables. It hasn't always been possible to grow fresh vegetables throughout the year. Therefore, people have developed food preservation methods such as pickling and fermentation, a process that uses enzymes to create chemical changes in food. Right, that's a great point, guys. We didn't always exist in this quote unquote, notice I said quote, global economy, where you can just have fresh blueberries all year round, or fresh broccoli and fresh kale, because they're just shipping this stuff up from South America. They're going from Southern Hemisphere to Northern Hemisphere, and we didn't always have that. So when you had your growing season, mankind developed ways to preserve the foods. Well, it turns out these preservation methods also have extreme health benefits. Let's go into it. Guys, mankind's amazing. We're having an amazing experience here, and we're being deluded and programmed and propagandized and brainwashed into thinking other ways. There's so many little simple, beautiful things in this realm that we're distracted from. So let's talk about it. Here we go. Kimchi typically contains cabbage and seasonings like sugar, salt, onions, garlic, ginger, and chili peppers. It may also boast other vegetables, including radish, celery, carrot, cucumber, eggplant, spinach, scallions, beets, and bamboo shoots. Though kimchi is usually fermented for a few days to a few weeks before serving, it can be eaten fresh or unfermented immediately after preparation. This dish is not only delectable, but also offers many health benefits. Here are 9 unique benefits of kimchi. Yeah, let's go into it. Number 1, it's nutrient dense. Kimchi is packed with nutrients while being low in calories. On its own, Chinese cabbage, one of the main ingredients is kimchi, boasts vitamin A and C, and at least 10 different minerals, and over 34 amino acids. People always say, where do you get your protein from? Yeah, guys, I have to understand what protein is. This is why, although I don't promote a vegan diet, this is why vegans can get proteins from vegetables, because they have amino acids. The basic building blocks of protein structures are amino acids. Certain amino acids build themselves into these chains. These chains form these protein structures that are the fundamental building blocks of our cells. You get it, guys? That's the same way how a gorilla who just eats plants all day long could be so strong. And he's very, anatomically, physiologically, very similar to us. The same way an elephant doesn't have to eat meat. Another mammal, they can get their protein from vegetables. Anyway, that's besides the point. Let's continue. Many green vegetables are good sources of nutrients like vitamin K and riboflavin. Because kimchi often comprises several green veggies such as cabbage, celery, and spinach, it's typically a great source of these nutrients. Vitamin K plays an important role in bodily functions, including bone metabolism and blood clotting, while riboflavin helps regulate energy production, cellular growth, and metabolism. What's more, the fermentation process may develop additional nutrients that are more easily absorbed into your body. And that's the other key, guys. It's not just about the nutrients, it's about the absorption rate of the food. Because if your body's not absorbing those nutrients, then you're not able to process them. You're not making use of them. They're likely just going to pass through your system. So the absorption quality and rate of the food should be noted. All right, let's continue. Number 2, second benefit. It contains probiotics. This is a good one. The probiotic aspect. The lacto fermentation process that kimchi undergoes makes it particularly unique. Fermented foods not only have an extended shelf life, but also an enhanced taste and aroma. That's the cool part about this fermentation. Not only are you preserving your food stores, but it's giving it more taste and aroma and health benefits. It's an amazing process. Fermentation occurs when a starch or sugar is converted into an alcohol or acid by organisms like yeast, mold, and bacteria. I'm going to read that again because that pretty much sums it up. Fermentation occurs when a starch or sugar is converted into alcohol or acid by organisms like yeast, mold, and bacteria. It's the same process for alcohol production like wine, spirits, and beer. To ferment the starch or sugar, you use things like yeast, mold, and bacteria. Anyway, let's continue. Lactofermentation uses the bacterium Lactobacillus to break sugars down into lactic acid, which gives kimchi its characteristic sourness. When taken as a supplement, the bacterium may offer several benefits, including treating conditions like hay fever and certain types of diarrhea. Fermentation also creates an environment that allows other friendly bacteria to thrive and multiply. These include probiotics, which are live microorganisms that offer health benefits when consumed in large amount. Right. When we talk about things like our gut health, okay, the health of our small and large intestines and the entire, it's called the integratory system. You talk about these beneficial bacteria. That's why when you take antibiotics, it not only kills the bad bacteria, but also these beneficial ones. And the micro environment of the gut is highly associated with health because it involves, like I said, the absorption of the nutrients through the small intestine walls and then into your bloodstream. That's where the absorption takes place mostly, is in that small intestine. And it's highly dependent on the microenvironment and the microorganisms of the gut. Let's continue. In fact, they're linked to the prevention and treatment of several conditions, including certain types of cancer, the common cold, constipation, gastrointestinal health, heart health, mental health, and skin conditions. Surprisingly enough, one's mental health, the neurochemistry of the central nervous system, combined with the hormones, the body's hormones. A lot of that is regulated by your gut health. They're very similar, very similar. So when you link the neurological system and your endocrine system, and when you look at those as a whole, you find that this delicate homeostasis, this balance that we need to maintain, proper functioning of our body, a lot of it is linked to our gut health. People say you are what you eat, and although I don't necessarily agree with that, I do find great wisdom in that. Let's continue. The probiotics in kimchi are believed to be responsible for many of its benefits. Nonetheless, more research on the specific effects of probiotics from fermented foods is needed. Let's continue. The third benefit of kimchi may strengthen your immune system. The lactobacillus bacterium in kimchi may boost your immune health. In a study in mice those injected with lactobacillium, a specific strain that's common in kimchi and other fermented foods, had lower levels of inflammatory marker tumor necrosis factor alpha, which is the TNF alpha, than the control group. I want you guys to focus on that term. Inflammatory markers. When you look at your health and your immune system, you often want to look at what's called these inflammatory markers, because many have an understanding, and I'm included, that much of our disease is associated with our body's inflammatory response, the way we respond to our environment, the chemicals in our environment. And of course, when we look at that topic, we have to include food. If we're consuming foods, if we're being exposed to a particular environment that is causing inflammation within the body, we can see particular effects associated with this particular circumstance or condition. Amongst them are the common diseases we see associated with our standard Western American culture, the Western American diet, or the westernized diet, I should say. We look at things like high blood pressure, diabetes, coronary heart disease, different types of arthritises, mental health conditions. We define these as separate diseases in and of themselves, but in reality, they seem to be multiple symptoms, symptomatic presentations of an underlying dis-ease within the body, often caused by systemic inflammation. So when we look at here, these inflammatory markers that we can use as indicators of systemic inflammation, we can see that certain types of bacterium, especially the beneficial ones, help promote lower levels of these inflammatory markers and factors. Let's continue. Because TNF alpha levels are often elevated during infection and disease, a decrease indicates that the immune system is working efficiently. Right, just what I was saying. A test tube study that isolated Lactobacillus plantarum from kimchi likewise demonstrated that this bacterium has immune-enhancing effects. Right. Let's continue. Number 4 benefit, may reduce inflammation. Again, along the same lines. Probiotics and active compounds in kimchi and other fermented foods may help fight inflammation. For example, a mouse study revealed that one of the principal compounds in kimchi improved blood vessel health by suppressing the inflammation. Right. There's been studies that have shown that this inflammation affects your blood vessels. Like I said, coronary artery disease, plaque buildup. We were told over and over and over again in the 80s and 90s that high cholesterol was the leading cause of coronary artery disease and plaque buildup. Guess what, guys? Further research has shown that it's not the cholesterol, it's not the HDLs or the high-density lipoproteins associated with saturated fat and cholesterol that have actually caused this artery disease and this plaque buildup. That no, those things are actually necessary for proper endocrine and hormonal health. It's not the cholesterol, it's not the HDLs and the saturated fat, it's actually the systemic inflammation that causes micro damage to the walls, the interior parts of the vessel. This micro damage then leads to the binding of the cholesterol and the HDL lipids in the blood that cause the plaque buildup. Therefore, it is not the cholesterol or the HDL saturated fats themselves, but no, it's the inflammatory process that leads to the buildup. Let's continue. In another mouse study, a kimchi extract administered at a certain milligrams per pound body weight at a certain interval lowered levels of inflammation-related enzymes. Right. Meanwhile, a test tube study confirmed anti-inflammatory properties by blocking, suppressing the release of inflammatory compounds. Exactly. Yeah. Let's continue. Benefit 5 of kimchi may slow aging. Chronic inflammation is not only associated with numerous illnesses, but also accelerates the aging process. Interesting, kimchi possibly prolongs cell life by slowing this process. In a test tube study, human cells were treated with kimchi demonstrated increased viability, which measures overall cell health, as well as showed an extended lifespan regardless of age. More studies are needed. Number 6 benefit of kimchi may prevent yeast infections. And this isn't just in women, this is going to be for everybody. It's going to go into candida. Let's continue. This is big for all you parasite people. I know it's a big topic amongst these truther circles, is this idea of parasites, parasitic invasion of the system. A lot of people feel as though these parasites are sentient in some way and begin to control one's consciousness. Some analogize or in some ways metaphorically understand that these parasites may indeed be linked to kind of the biblical understandings of demonic possession, and that these parasites may be viewed as a physical manifestation of some energetic disease. Let's continue. Kimchi's probiotics and healthy bacteria may help prevent yeast infections. Vaginal yeast infections occur when the candida fungus, which is normally harmless, multiplies rapidly inside the vagina. As this fungus may be developing resistance to antibiotics, many researchers are looking for natural treatments. Test tube and animal studies suggest that certain strains of Lactobacillus fight candida. One test tube study even found that multiple strains isolated from kimchi displayed antimicrobial activity against the fungus. Regardless, further research is needed. And again, guys, it's not just about the candida in the vagina. It's about systemic candida. Some people think it can invade your upper respiratory system. Some people even think that this candida fungus and other types of fungus can go through the blood-brain barrier and invade your central nervous system, causing brain fog, fatigue, and others. I can go on and on about this, guys, but let me continue. Number 7, may aid weight loss. Fresh and fermented kimchi are both low in calories and may boost weight loss, of course. A 4-week study in 22 people with excess weight found that eating fresh or fermented kimchi helped reduce body weight, body mass index, which is the BMI, and body fat. Additionally, the fermented variety decreased blood sugar levels. Keep in mind that those who ate fermented kimchi displayed significantly greater improvements in blood pressure and body fat percentage than those who ate the fresh dish. Right, again, lending to the benefits of the fermented kimchi. It's unclear which properties of kimchi are responsible for the weight loss effects, though its low calorie count, high fiber content, and probiotics could all play a role. Yeah. Number 8 benefit of kimchi may support heart health. And you guys, you see how these are all related? They're all related, and that's the interesting part about our body, our health, proper functioning of our body, our different systems, is they're all related in this beautiful dance, this interplay of our systems. Our body seems to be a grand orchestra with multiple components that all have to be in sync and harmonized in a particular way. When we can harmonize the multiple systems of our body, we see a more harmonious presentation in our energy overall. It lends itself to the amazing mind-body-spirit link that we find in this realm and the interconnectedness of these different domains, which seemingly are separate, but in reality all function off of each other to promote harmony. Research indicates that kimchi may reduce your risk of heart disease. This may be due to its anti-inflammatory properties, as recent evidence suggests that inflammation may be the underlying cause of heart disease. That's what I was saying earlier, guys. The body's inflammatory process. Look, I look at it like this. There are certain foods that have sprung from mankind's venture into society as opposed to community. Mankind's venture into large-scale agriculture, or even agriculture in general, the agrarian society. If you can picture man in a proper state of nature, you find man more so as a hunter-gatherer. Many of you know I put no credence into macroevolution. I don't think man evolved over time. I don't see that. But I do see man in a certain state of nature that's much different than the presentation of mankind that we see today. If you see man more of as a hunter-gatherer, more as a nomad, and you examine what the diet was of that type of man, you find that we had a much more anti-inflammatory diet. There was no grains. Grains are really grass products. Grains are a product of agriculture and agro-farming. Whether it's wheat, rice, oats, barley, corn, or even sugar cane, which where we get most of our sugar, at least our table sugar, white processed refined sugar. These are all grass products. Grass products are a result of agriculture, farming. Even the domestication of animals, animal husbandry. These are products of man moving from the hunter-gatherer into the agricultural society that we find. Thus, when you look at the foods that we eat now, we find that they're highly inflammatory. Thus, many of the conditions that we see today. You can even see this being presented as an allegory with the Cain and Abel story of Genesis. Cain killed Abel. Abel was a hunter-gatherer. Cain was a farmer. Cain represents man's transition into the agriculture, agrarian society that we see today. The agricultural society killed the hunter-gatherer society. Cain killed Abel. These things were presented as allegory to man. At least that's one interpretation. This transition to eating grains, the high meat consumption due to large-scale animal husbandry and agribusiness has promoted this dis-ease we see in our society. Let me continue. So I was on number 8, may support heart health. This may be due to its anti-inflammatory properties. As recent evidence suggests that inflammation may be the underlying cause of heart disease. In an 8-week study in mice fed with high cholesterol diet, fat levels in blood and liver were lower in those given kimchi extract than in people in the control group. In addition, the kimchi extract appeared to suppress fat growth. Right. You see what I said about the cholesterol? They gave the mice the same high cholesterol diet, but in some of the mice, they gave them this kimchi extract, and they found that the fat levels in the blood and liver were lower. It wasn't about the fat. It was about the body's response to the fat. I'm going to say this over and over again. You need high cholesterol, especially men, women of childbearing age. This whole thing to avoid high cholesterol is a farce and a fallacy. Anybody who remembers the diet recommendation of the late 80s and early 90s was told about lowering cholesterol, lowering fat, especially the HDLs, saturated fat, and otherwise. That was found to be completely completely wrong. And it was actually harming people. You need fat, but you need to lower your body's inflammatory response so you can process the fats properly. Let's continue. This is important as the accumulation of fat in these areas may contribute to heart disease. I was saying that earlier. Meanwhile, a week-long study including 100 people found that eating 0.5 to 7.5 ounces of kimchi daily significantly decreased blood sugar, total cholesterol, and LDLs, which is the quote-unquote bad cholesterol levels. All of which are risk factors for heart disease. Right. I might have said HDL before. Where I said HDL previously, you can substitute LDLs, the low density lipoproteins anyway. All the same, more research is needed. And number 9, the final benefit here of kimchi is it's easy to make at home. You can make it easy. Though preparing fermented foods may seem like a daunting task, making kimchi at home is fairly simple. If you adhere to the following steps, I'll read them here, why not? I'll go fast. Gather ingredients of your choice, such as cabbage. Cabbage seems like the main ingredient, but there's others, like other fresh vegetables like carrots, radish, onions, along with ginger, garlic, salt, rice flour, chili oil, chili powder, and pepper flakes, fish sauce, and fermented shrimp. Cut and wash the vegetables alongside the ginger and garlic. Spread salt in between the layers of cabbage leaves and let it sit for 2 to 3 hours. Turn the cabbage every 30 minutes to evenly distribute the salt. Use a ratio of ½ cup of salt to every 6 pounds of cabbage. To remove the excess salt, rinse the cabbage with cold water and drain in a colander or strainer. Mix the rice flour, sugar, ginger, garlic, chili oil, pepper flakes, fish sauce, and the fermented shrimp, which I can't pronounce the name of it. It's called sojot. Into a paste, adding water if necessary. You can use more or less of these ingredients depending on how strong you want the kimchi to taste. Toss the fresh vegetables, including the cabbage, into the paste until all the veggies have fully coated. Pack the mixture into a large container or jar for storage, making sure to seal it properly. Let the kimchi ferment for at least 3 days at room temperature or up to 3 weeks at 39 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow, that sounds pretty cool, 3 weeks. From what I'm told, in South Korea, when they make it authentically, after they store it into the container and seal it nice and tight, I believe they actually store it underground, which makes sense to me. Who needs a refrigerator when you could just put it underground? And they store it in that method. And then it says to make a version suitable for vegetarians and vegans, simply leave out the fish sauce and the sojut, which is the fermented shrimp. And then it says if you prefer the fresh over the fermented kimchi, stop after step 6. I mean, if you're going to go so far as to prep it, you might as well ferment it. If you choose fermentation, you'll know that it's ready to eat once it starts to smell and taste sour, and when small bubbles begin to move through the jar. After fermentation, you can refrigerate your kimchi for up to a year. So think about it. After you ferment it, if you toss it in the fridge or store it cold enough, it'll last up to a year, guys. Long enough until your next harvest season, at least. I may go more into the fermentation of foods. Kimchi just may be the start of this series because, you know, you can preserve your foods, guys, which means you can have your gardens. Imagine if you have a beautiful garden, guys. You're growing your cabbage. What else did it say? You grow your carrots. You're growing radish, onions, garlic, ginger. And you have a huge crop. You don't have to waste it. You don't have to sell it. You can store your food, guys. What better way than to ferment it? And you'll have wonderful vegetables all year round that are healthy and otherwise. And let's finish the article up right here saying that, you know, and as you're storing it for a year in your refrigerator, it will continue to ferment, but at a slower rate due to the cooler temperature. Bubbling and bulging, a sour taste, and a softening of the cabbage are perfectly normal for kimchi. However, if you notice a foul odor or any signs of mold, such as white film at the top, Your dish has spoiled and should be thrown away. And then it says, does kimchi have any downsides? Safety concerns, right? So the downside could be if you fuck it up, guys. Recently, E. coli, norovirus. Even though fermented foods don't typically carry foodborne pathogen, kimchi ingredients and the adaptability of pathogens means it's still vulnerable. So just do it right, store it right. Don't be stupid with it. Avoid the pathogens. That's with anything, guys. And then it talks about nitrate. The nitrate content in kimchi varies by the type and how it's prepared. Depending on preparation, you can minimize the nitrates. That said, purchasing the kimchi from reliable sources and correctly storing the kimchi can minimize the risk in any verse. Right. That's like any food, guys. Especially any food that's not cooked, And then it talks about the potential high sodium content and blood pressure. But there's few risks. Bottom line, kimchi is a sour Korean dish often made from cabbage and other vegetables. Because it's a fermented food, it boosts numerous probiotics. These healthy microorganisms may give kimchi several health benefits. It might help regulate your immune system, promote weight loss, fight inflammation, and even slow the aging process. And you can cook it at home. Anyway, that brings us to the end of our little health segment here. And thanks for sticking with me, guys. I hope that was beneficial and helpful to some of you. And at some point, I'm going to link all these kind of little segments that I do into one overall presentation. And I'll put out somewhere, maybe on a backup channel, maybe on this channel, not sure. All right. Let me come back to my broadcast. Much love, everybody. Yeah, thanks, London man. Appreciate that. We like to mix it up here on Z Show. It's a variety show. Some people come in and they say, what is this show about, guys? It's a show, guys. That's what this is. It's like any variety show. Remember the old time variety shows? You'd have somebody come on, they do this, do that. You might have a magician. You might have a comedy act. You might have the act where they come on. They bring out like animals. You might have a doctor on. Who knows? Okay, let's drop the link. I'm inviting everybody up, but more specifically, I'm inviting, I want anybody who wants to come up, but I want to interview Benton first if he's still here. So I think Benton wants to do a one-on-one with this segment, and I think that's what he said. So anybody come up, but I'm looking to bring on Benton first. Yeah, Real McCoy, you can hit the link, man. Yeah, Benton, come up. Anybody can come up. You might be able to sit in the back a little bit, but we're going to do a Benton segment first because we talked about him in the beginning of the show, and I'm focused on him. All right, come on up, guys. And as we wait for everybody to come up, we're going to do another we'll do another interlude. That way I can take a drink of water. I just did a lot of talking there. And what do I want to play for you guys? What do I want to play? Benton, because you and I are both Back to School fans and Rodney Dangerfield fans, I think you said you were, Benton. We're going to play the beginning overture to my favorite comedy movie of all time, Back to School. A lot of you guys, we've been talking about Danny Elfman lately. He's one of the musical geniuses that was providing theme music to much of the movies we love of the 70s and 80s. So in honor of you, Benton, we're going to play Back to School as I wait for you to come up. The beginning overture. We'll be back in 2 minutes and 5 seconds to talk to our friend Benton. Much love, everybody. Thanks for sticking in. Lovely, 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 lovely. Yeah, everybody. That was the beginning overture, the overture to the 1980s classic comedy, Back to School. Benton, I love promoting things that I love. You know, for anybody who's like new to certain things and certain classic things from pop culture. Anyway, let's let him up, guys. For whatever reason, we're featuring Benton this morning. He was on my mind just based on some of the things he's been saying lately, and I just feel as though this is needed and interesting here. And we're going to bring him up for a one-on-one so we can get down to it. Anybody who wants to come up and sit in the back, feel free to do so. And of course, as I'm about to bring Benton up, I look down and I see the lovely Christy Lee dolls, and she distracts me, Benton. Benton, you see how what happens with these women? They say the soul of a woman was created below. Shout out to Led Zeppelin. Because I'm about to go into it with Benton. I just did an amazing segment on health. I got to flex all my Dr. John skills. I'm about to bring Benton up for a promising, likely very heartfelt interview, and then Chrissy Lee Dolls pops up and fucking distracts me. You know, she says, Z, I wish we could make kimchi together one day. Well, Christy Lee, I have no doubt that you and I can make beautiful kimchi together one day. And I don't mean that in any way metaphorically, although I do. Anyway, where am I going with this? Help me out, Benton. Benton, you see how the urge to simp just runs through the the biology and the genealogy of all men? Hey, that's why we're all here. We wouldn't be here without fucking. Okay, Benton, welcome to the show. Good to see you, man. How's it going this morning, dude?
Hey, nice to see you as well, Z. Thanks for having me.
Much love, Benton. Since we're doing a one-on-one, let me turn my cam on so we could do the whole thing. Make it more intimate.
It's up to you, man.
There we go. There we go. Let's just jump right into it, homie.
What do you want to do, health, or do you want to do the dating and the relationships?
Well, we'll see where it goes, man. I noticed that one of your thumbnails the other day, you appeared to post one of your old licenses. You had a picture of yourself. Appeared to be
Yes.
anywhere from 2008 to 2012, based off my investigation.
Yes.
Which was over a decade ago. But you look different, Benton, to say the
Yes.
least. You had a different presentation, but I could tell it was you in there.
Yes.
It looked like
So-
you in a fat. It looked like you in a fat suit, like when you put it like one of these actors, and they, like in Gwyneth Paltrow in the, and what was that movie? She had a fat suit on. Shallow Hal.
Yes.
You look like you had. You look like you, or like when Mike Myers put on the fat suit to play Fat Bastard in in the Austin Powers movies. You look like you had your Fat Bastard suit on, but you didn't look bad. I don't want to make come off
Well,
wrong, but go ahead. What's up with that?
the best comment, well, again, it's how much time do you want to devote to this? Because I've been through a lot of things health-wise. In fact, I got up to about a size 40 waist when I was with my first wife. I didn't know it at the time because I was too immature to understand this, but she intentionally fattened me up.
Yeah.
And then I also grew up on the worst diet possible. My father owned and operated a convenience store. For my entire youth, I was allowed to go in that store and I could just have whatever I wanted. So I grew up on candy bars, potato chips, donuts, soda. I drank a 3-liter of Mountain Dew every day when I was a freshman in college. That's not an exaggeration.
Wow.
Yes.
You grew up in Arkansas, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So 2 things you said there that were interesting. One, the culture in which you grew up in, which you developed in. Here's the way I look at it, Benton, is that as we're developing, I'll use my story to bounce off in it. When I was a kid and I was a good boy, my grandma would drive me to McDonald's as a reward. Meanwhile, really, she just wanted to go to McDonald's to get food, and she was babysitting me, so I was just along for the ride. But if I was a good boy, I got to get to McDonald's. At your birthday, they sing happy birthday with the big sugary cake, which has got the white flour, the sugar, fats, everything. And my point is that what that does, it's very insidious. Any holiday really, is you become conditioned to associate the good feelings, the feelings of praise, the feelings of family, the warm, natural feelings that come from those experiences with the already intrinsically rewarding high fat and high sugar foods. It's a double whammy, bro. And I think this society does it on purpose. I don't think they want us to be healthy, Benton. This society was perfectly fine for your tubby fucking ass and my tubby young ass to be down in the soda, to be eating the high cholesterol foods, the high fat, the high everything. Like I said, cholesterol is not naturally bad, but of course you want to moderate things. It's all imbued in a social milieu, bro. These things are linked. So your neurology, your endocrinology, your behaviors, your emotions, they all become linked, man. And we find ourselves in this downward spiral of health that many of us see or find ourselves in today. And the second thing you mentioned was your wife. She likely was. Women do this, bro. And haters, fucking, you can hate, but they'll fatten you up on purpose, man, just to kind of keep your ass there. It lowers your testosterone, and it could be said, Benton, and I'll hand the floor over to you, that when a man spends significant time around women in that environment with the so-called 50-50 partnership relation, you're waking up next to each other, you're sleeping next to each other, they're involved in your life, your testosterone naturally gets lowered, not increased. Go ahead. Floor's yours, man. We'll go from there.
Well, thanks, Z. And I love this topic. And I've extensively studied everything that you just mentioned. And in fact, for many years, I intentionally ate a specific diet and engaged in specific activities to maximize my natural testosterone, which I still have a picture I took of my blood work in my late 30s, 1,106 nanograms per deciliter. And I know
naturally,
as somebody,
right?
yeah, 100% natural. And as someone trained in medicine, you know that that's very high, even for a teenager. It's off the fucking charts for a person of that age. And that
Well, what
was
happened?
through me intentionally.
Right.
Now, are you asking what happened with my health, or what are we asking?
No. Continue.
So where I would start is with the connection with the women and the food. So I like where you went with the, the way in which the food, more or less, people are addicted to it. And then I want to point this out: we cannot have a country that cares about health, and the number one and number two restaurants are McDonald's and Starbucks. So already, when we lump Americans together, Americans do not care about their health. That's a fact. If Americans cared about their health in mass, McDonald's could not be the number one restaurant. It would be impossible. And I can just go on and on and on about the health stuff, but I'd rather let you kind of steer it. Maybe I'll just grandstand a tad.
Well, we're on the right track. I mean, let's get back to the testosterone. What happens is at a certain age, we find that the male testosterone levels drop.
That's a myth. No, that's collectively. Some men do not see
Right.
their testosterone drop, but go ahead.
Agreed. Well, what I mean is that I'm not saying that it's necessarily a natural process that it happens, but we find when we test men of a certain age, you see these lower levels. But again, it begs the question, why? Are we supposed to naturally drop testosterone levels? I would agree with you, what you just said. Probably not. So what are the factors? What are the environmental conditions that are causing it? We find as a treatment is we have TRT, exogenous hormone therapy, testosterone replacement therapy, which we know has a lot of adverse effects when it comes to, a man's health. What did you find increases testosterone? I think there's a lot of things. One, just our physicality, man. Actually working on certain muscle groups increases your testosterone. If you're going to go to the gyms, if you're going to be a gym bro and you're going to sit there and do curls all day and work on your pecs and your traps, that's not going to do it. You got to work on your core. You got to squat, your leg muscles. There's certain muscles that promote testosterone. Get your testes going, which would mimic a natural process of a male's work day if we existed more in the state of nature. If you were lifting things up and down and moving, getting your body moving, these things increase and maintain testosterone. Not only some of the foods we talked about, foods that are maybe have some cholesterol in them, these foods that are actually high in fat as opposed to avoiding fat, and other things, dude. But I would agree that, before a man investigates these exogenous testosterone replacement treatments, there's other ways to go, man. There's even certain natural things, nutrients, nutraceuticals, and otherwise that can be used to promote and increase testosterone. But it's a big deal, man. It's a big issue that men deal with, is this T stuff. So I'm glad you brought it up, dude. And I do also agree that and I'll give it the floor to you, the condition that they have men in, the domestication of the male, the fact that we work in these corporate environments around a bunch of women. Benton, when I was, being my doctor of audiology self, I was in a room all day with 9 women around me, bro, listening to them, exposed to them, smelling them, the pheromones, engaged. That doesn't help your test, bro. That does. Go ahead, man. Take it away. I don't want to go on.
Well, and if we make it particular to me, part of that, I can't remember if that driver's license picture is from when I was just fat, because when I was just fat, after that, I lost all the fat, but I was athletic as a teenager. I graduated high school, 135 pounds, not a lot of lean mass in my upper body. Was always self-conscious about being a smaller person. My dad's 6'2", 260, smallest of 4 boys. So in my mind, it was like, why am I so tiny? Why am I so small? So after my divorce from my first wife, and I realized that, I looked like Humpty Dumpty. So then, because I have a strong will, I was able to eat properly, exercise, get back in shape. The natural athleticism helped. So I got down to about 145 pounds, but I wasn't producing proper hormones, and I didn't have enough muscle. And I also had this thing where I wanted to be a large person. So I have this thing in my mind, when I set a goal, I go way overboard. So I ate 5,500 calories a day for at least 3 straight years, probably closer to 4. And I don't recommend any of this. And I hit the weights really hard, like you're talking about, squats, deadlifts, bench press, all of that, crazy workouts. And I got up to 195 pounds at a 34-inch waist. But when I so I might have been in a bulking phase. I can't remember in that picture. But looking back on it, this was very bad for some of the issues I'm having now. It's very hard on the system. And for all the skinny guys that say they can't gain weight, oh, yes, you can. You must double what you're eating. And I don't recommend it. I hated eating that much food every day. It's horrible.
I had a friend who got very ill, and after his illness, he tried to gain weight back, and he was like eating and drinking these weight gainers, which are very high in like these synthetic sugar type of things.
Yep.
And he basically put himself into a diabetic state, dude, because of that, the amount of calories and actually sugar, calories from sugar that he was consuming and the way he was doing it. And it led to some issues for him. So that being said, Benton, I mean, you know, as far as you're comfortable, you've alluded to a lot of you've alluded to a lot of things. You know, do you care to share maybe some of the challenges you're experiencing now?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't say for sure what I have because I won't go to doctors. But if somebody really wants to know what I'm coping with on a day-to-day basis, Google chronic pancreatitis and study up on that. And the reality is, when I first started studying up on it, I realized there's not really anything approaching an actual treatment, and that anything they consider a treatment is actually based on dealing with the pain that results, because most people cannot change their lifestyle and their diet. So most people that develop chronic pancreatitis continue to do things like drink alcohol, eat fast food, and processed foods. Well, see, I haven't had any of that in well over a year. So generally speaking, unless I mess up and do something wrong, as far as my habits, I'm in no pain generally for the most part. But however, I'm in semi-starvation. I'm 5'10". I weigh about 120 pounds. And there's nothing that can be done about this other than just going to the hospital and let them put me on IVs, or God knows what they're going to do to me. But as we know, and real quick, I'm only speaking for me, the medical system will happily make a profit from ruining my quality of life and will not extend my life very long. If it does, I'm not going to have a quality of life. And meanwhile, I have a quality of life right now. So I have no interest in going to doctors. Meanwhile, they attempted to take my mother out when she had to go to the hospital, you know, during the whole thing that was going on in the last few years. They attempted to take her out intentionally, and there's no doubt about that. So I couldn't even go to a doctor because I would have to tell them exactly what I think of them. And that's exactly what I would do. So not going to doctors. Not going to happen.
Well, again, we're going to try to avoid the problem-solving portion.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So,
indeed, sir. Yeah, thank you.
I don't mean from you. I'm going to actively try to avoid problem-solving because there's probably nothing I'm going to say that you haven't heard.
Well, and real quick, I drove a truck. I lived in a truck and had unlimited money for supplements over the last year, and I averaged $150 to $200 a week on supplements. So imagine. So anything anybody suggests, I am doing it or have done it. Literally. There's nothing anybody's ever suggested that I haven't already been on top of. So
are you worried about the C word in regard to your pancreas? I'm sure you've thought about it.
I mean, most likely that's what's going on, probably.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
I'm sorry to hear that, Benton. So you're not unaware of your potential situation.
No, not at all. I'm beginning to look like people who end up passing as a result of that. There was a member of that group, the Cars. You remember the musical group, the Cars?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
One of their members died of that. And in his last time the whole band was interviewed together, you could just see it. And you know, meanwhile, he had money to seek the best medical treatment available. They really can't do anything once it gets to that point. They really can't.
People want to know. Just look at Patrick Swayze. Patrick Swayze's an example, and the way he looked. Benton.
Well, I see you getting a little emotional, Z, and I'm at peace with it, brother. And we're all leaving this realm, as far as we know. And, you know, the thing is, me personally, I've accomplished what I believe I was sent here to accomplish. I've done a lot of things in this life. And, you know, I like being here, but I'm not necessarily that attached to sticking around as long as humanly possible. Are we getting too real, Z?
No, man, no. Benton,
See, there's still problem solving in the chat. This is really what I
Yeah,
like to talk about, is this loop
yeah.
into problem solving, because it has to be my fault. Because if they can find something I'm doing wrong, they don't have to concern themselves with that this could happen to them. It has to be my fault. See, I must be guilty in some kind of way for this to happen to me. This can't just randomly happen, right? Or it can't happen from genetic factors in combination with my stupid choices 20 years ago, right? The chickens always
Well, that's the
come
thing,
home to
yeah.
roost.
We
It's an
always want to,
accrual
you know.
over time. Go ahead, sir.
Well, people like to take sometimes a mindset of radical accountability, especially in some of these circles, where
Mhm.
you know, to me again, it's a psychological defense mechanism, because it takes our mind off of the realities of this realm, and it places our mind more into an idealistic mindset, where we want to hold on to things in the ideal that maybe can't be achieved here. The reality of this realm is we're born, we live, and then we die, no matter what. And whatever the cause is, we're going to die of something. So I think what it is when people go into that mindset, dude, it's a desperate attempt to move away and ignore the sad realities of this place. We always want to say,
yes.
yeah.
It's a
Go ahead.
dismissal.
Go ahead.
It's a dismissiveness. And I want to say this, like, medically, I'm in semi-starvation. I'm not hungry most of the time. I could just not eat ever again, and I would not be hungry. Like, that's
Right.
literally where I'm at. Mhm.
Yeah.
Not hungry. Not
Yeah.
hungry right now. But I'm still going to eat today. Yeah. And by the way, thank you for being just about the only person who's taken the initiative to have this conversation. And this is beneficial to me. I have nobody to talk to about this. I talked to my dad yesterday, and he did the loop into problem solving.
Yeah.
And I saw it coming, and I said, hey, man, I even tried to cut him off. I saw him doing it, and I gave him my spiel about don't do that. And then he went right back into it. And I gave him the spiel. He went right back into it. It's just it's human nature. And my mind does it. But because I've worked on myself, if I'm talking to somebody, then when I see that part of my brain want to solve the problem, I stop and say, is this appropriate? Has this person asked for my advice? Now, if I have knowledge in this area, this is what I do. I say, hey, I know something about this. Are you interested in what I have to say? Because ultimately what's happening is people are attempting to aggressively push onto me something that I haven't consented to receiving. And it's abusive in a way, if you think about it. And I would never do that to another person. Although in my less evolved form, many years ago, I probably went around just blasting everybody with advice. Eventually, through various practices, I realized this is ridiculous. I'm not qualified to advise people, especially people I haven't asked for advice. What is this? I'm going to walk the earth and just tell everybody what they should be doing. It's nuts.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you recognize that, Ben. Benton, you know a little bit of my history and some of my experience in this world, and I've had to have many tough conversations in my life with people. No holds barred conversations. I've told countless parents that their young 3-month-old child is deaf, and there's nothing we can do about it. And when you've looked into parents' eyes and done things like that, you learn at a certain point how to navigate some of these conversations. And the reality is they don't even get easier. They don't get easier.
Well, and go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, dude, as far as you right now, dude, what's your outlook on life, man? How are you treating your life right now, dude? Like, where's your energy? Where's your consciousness? What do you look forward to in the future, man? Help us out here.
Well, and I'm happy to answer these questions, but I end up having to take it in a different direction. So I had I structured my life in such a way in the last couple of decades where I lived outside and lived out of a backpack, and I traveled the country. So I spent 6 straight years at one stretch where I slept rough. And I walked 10 miles a day on foot on average with a 35-pound rucksack. So I had a lot of time to walk around with myself alone. I know exactly who I am. I know exactly what motivates me. I completely understand a lot of these dynamics, right? And I think a lot of people have never figured that out for themselves. They're not aware of what makes themselves tick. So because I know myself so well, I understand that my path is one of progression. So as long as I have something, if I can wake up and work towards something and build upon something and work on myself or various projects, I'm happy. That's really all I need, right? I'm very simple in that way.
I like that, Benton. I could relate
Thank
to
you.
you when I was 21 years old. I did a transcontinental bicycle trip.
Oh,
I
really?
took my bike. I rode my bike from here in New Jersey out to the Pacific Ocean in
Damn, that's awesome.
Oregon and California. So it took me 51 days to go from ocean to ocean, and it was just me, man. It was just me and my bicycle pedaling away. I had about 50 pounds of equipment on me, and I went over the Adirondacks. The Appalachians, I should say, and then over the Rockies, and then get, of course, through the heart of America, that whole land, the breadbasket of America, and all that. And I see what you mean, dude. It's just you and your thoughts and a goal. It's a different experience, man. And it's almost like whatever this society is, we're presented with an environment that seems to be trying to pull us away from our thoughts and that sort of that stoic mindset and that stoic approach to life. It wants to hit us with the multimedia. It wants to complicate our lives so many ways with smartphones, with social media, with the news, cable, movies, radio, internet. We're being bombarded, man, with basically distractions. And everybody's out here. And what I think it does, man, is it takes our consciousness that should sit within ourselves and it brings it outward. It brings our focus to things outside of ourselves, which seem to be distractions, man. And so I appreciate what you say when you were kind of out on the road doing your thing for years on end. I'm sure you were able to then sort of bring your consciousness more internally and discover things that, it brings this up, dude, is that we have this idea that we're born a blank slate. And I think a lot of this is engendered by the physical paradigm that they present to us. We have this idea we're born as a blank slate, and then we have to seek knowledge outside of ourselves. That knowledge exists out there, and we need to consume it, bring it in, and then build some type of wisdom. I don't see it like that, Benton. I see it as though we're born with all the knowledge of reality encoded within us. It could be encoded within the very DNA that forms our physical body. And that maybe the journey of life is not to discover anything outside of ourselves, but to find and uncover the knowledge that exists within us on a metaphysical level. Maybe it's about discovering oneself to such a point where the knowledge of this realm becomes intuited in some way, where we just understand things energetically. And we can call it a gut instinct. We can call it, just intuition. When you say, oh, no, that's just right. I hear that. I resonate with it energetically. That I didn't have to learn it. I didn't have to go get a PhD on it. Because I think that's another trick, Benton, is you go to these colleges and you study these in-depth focal topics to get your PhD, your doctorate. And I think by distracting people into these minute rabbit holes, down to these particular little, let's say, disciplines, I think it's a trick to take people off the bigger picture And I think you see it played out in our medical system because you have all these so-called doctors who are focused on their particular thing. The cardiologist, the fucking podiatrist, the endocrinologist, the dermatologist, the audiologist, like me, whatever. You can keep going. You focus all these special people with these special minds into these little particular silos, and everybody misses the big picture. Go ahead, man. Floor's yours.
Yeah, and about doctors in medicine particularly, you know, let's bottom line this. This is America. Everything in America is a business. Doctors in medicine are about one thing and one thing only. What can we bill? Who can we bill for what? That's it. It's all they care about. Period. End of story. Because in the corporate structure, they know they must do as the corporation demands, because there's 1,000 people with that doctor's exact same credentials who will happily take their place if that person doesn't play ball. So it really, the humanity of the physician is no longer relevant, has nothing to do with anything. These ICU doctors all around the country, back during the thing that happened, they knew exactly what they were doing. But they also knew, well, if I'm a ICU doctor and I make, you know, my base salary, what, 200,000 or whatever, and now they're going to double it with bonuses for a couple of years, that person knows, well, if I stand on my own morals and what I know to be true and right, they'll just get rid of me, and there's somebody else they'll just happily plop in my place. So somebody's getting that 400 to 500 grand. What, me and my family got to eat. And that person, you know, they went to school for all that time. So now literal mass murderers, the ICU doctor at most county hospitals, literal mass murderers. That's not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
And I'm grandstanding again, so I don't want to go.
You know, who do you think's the who do you think could out? Do you think I could out grandstand Benton, or if you compare our ability to grandstand Benton, I don't know who would win that. But you know what, dude? Here's the thing, dude. I can go in so many directions based off what you just said. You're right. They're in a chain. Look, these doctors. There's no discretion, and I know this, guys, from experience. A doctor practices what's called evidence-based medicine, okay? But here's the thing. It's just a term. Because all the evidence, you have to question, where does the evidence come from? Who's providing the evidence? Who's doing the research? Who's approving the research? There's no discretion as a doctor. A lot of it, Benton, is AI at this point. If Benton comes in, or Z, or anybody else, yeah. If you present with certain symptoms, okay, let's go through our history. Benton, what is your genetic history? What is your family history? What are your symptoms? What are your signs? You put all of it in. You do the blood work. You do this. You put all the info in. Boom. Diagnosis. The doctor's not coming up with the diagnosis on his own. The diagnosis is given to him by his so-called profession. And then you know what else comes next? The treatment paradigm is given to him by his so-called profession and by hashtag science and hashtag medicine. It goes back to what I consistently talk about, dude, is the co-opting of academia, the co-opting of education, and the co-opting of medicine. People have lost their God-given ability for logic and reason, and they defer to the so-called experts, the men in the white coats, never questioning, challenging, and asking, who are these people? What is this so-called evidence? Where does it come from? May there be an agenda behind it? And does the diagnosis and the treatment paradigm hold up to the scrutiny of true science, actual science? Science that is based on certain principles of objectivity and the empirical method, not hashtag science, not the guy in the white coat and what he tells you. Actual science. They've co-opted it. They've co-opted the mind. So like you said, when your doctor comes in, if he doesn't toe the line and play ball, he's just gone, and they bring in the next automaton. And this goes back to what I continually say. People have been trained, conditioned, and propagandized to act through a persona, through an identity. So when you go into that doctor's office, you're not dealing with Judy, Tom, Bob, or Margaret. You're dealing with Dr. Fuckface, Dr. X, Dr. Y, Dr. Z. When he's doctor somebody, he's no longer the person. He's the persona. He's the mask. Everything he says will be presented through the persona, through the mask. There's no, for lack of a better term, humanity there. There's just a persona acting as agent of either a corporation or an organization, which shows no difference to me. Go ahead, floor's yours.
Hey, man, thanks. I appreciate that. And the reality is, one time on my channel, at Benton JA668, by the way, if I may do a little promotion, but, you know, I did like a 45-minute dissertation on my entire health journey, beginning to end, and how we got to this point. The reality is, I cannot get 45 minutes one-on-one with a doctor or a physician. It's not possible, because they can't bill enough to justify that, because as we know, they must rush on to the next patient in order to continue earning money. And it's all about the billing and the coding. And real quick, I did want to address a comment I saw in the live chat before I stopped reading the comments, by the way. And I'm pretty sure I know who posted this, but they're like, hey, what's the point of asking for help? Well, if someone in the chat has a desire to help me, right, a true desire, well, that has nothing to do with me. If you think about it, that doesn't connect to me. Meanwhile, and I'm not talking about Z, I'm just talking generally. Not one person has said, hey, man, I can see you might need some help. Is there anything I can do for you? And advice isn't helping. And here's another problem for me is, if, let's say, we just passed out written material to all of the so-called truthers, and then we said, okay, we need you to study and learn this material, and we're going to test your ability to have taken in this information. I will score in the 99th percentile of that. And I'm in my body. None of you have anywhere near my qualifications to, I'm not talking about Z as a, you know, someone who has studied medicine. I'm saying there's nobody that I talk to that has the qualifications. I literally made a 99 on the ASVAB, the military, you know, to go into the military. I wasn't in the military. My point is, if we're going to read and study material and be able to regurgitate it, I'm going to be in the 99th percentile, and I'm in my body, so I have an inherent advantage. Now, here's what would help me. I need a space to live stream where I can meet my very basic needs and be left the fuck alone most of the day. Nobody's going to offer me that in these communities, but some of these people are going to make fun of me as if, hey, we're helping you, and you're so bitter you won't take the help. See? No, I'm annoyed that people in 2023 in these so-called truth communities actually think they can type words at me over the metaverse and heal me. Meanwhile, I've been on this internet effectively every day going back to early 1994. Okay. I came up from an era of the internet that most of these people have no clue about. And I like to read and research. Okay. And I've been doing that my whole adult life. I've literally read thousands of books. I can tell Z is very well studied and well researched as well. So most of the folks who want to try to help me, I already know what they're telling me. And I knew it before many of them even got on the internet. So imagine being this type of person, you know, who would engage in these type of behaviors. And the way you just described the medical system, I think is wonderful. And when I first announced my serious health issues, many of the people who know what you just said tried to get me to go to doctors. So that's a cognitive dissonance right there. This idea that we know exactly how horrible this thing is, the medical system. Oh, Benton just announced he's dying. Well, he said he won't go to doctors. Well, let's try to get him to go to doctors. That's what I'm dealing. That annoys me more than the dying, because I'm at peace with it, if that makes sense. So I really like to critique these so-called truthers' psychologies. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. Like right now, Smith W's going off in the chat about you. I almost don't even want to address it, bro. But
that's fine. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
But the issue is he's dealing with alcohol addiction. Well, somehow, some way I was dealing with it, and then I sobered up, and I'm not a sober person, but I mean, I don't drink alcohol. And then something switched in my brain, right? Because my organs can't really even handle the alcohol anymore. I almost never think of alcohol. But why can't Smith get to that space in his mind? It's because he's wasting his energy. He's wasting his energy pointing it at me externally. And that prevents him and distracts him from pointing his energies inward, where they can actually do some good. He can waste his energy trying to change me to no effect. he could point that energy inward over a period of time and through a very difficult process that you've probably undergone in your own way, Z. I can hear it. I can detect it in you. He hasn't done that. Smith hasn't worked on himself. Meanwhile, who suffers the most because Smith hasn't worked on himself? Smith does. He's the one suffering. And now he's blasting me with his own suffering. It's sick, and I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah. You know what I find, Benton, is those who choose not to work on themselves, eventually life works on them. It's going to happen one way or another. And sometimes it has to be like that, because life will do it to you, man. Go ahead.
Well, and that's where the drinking comes in, because I figured out drinking. So part of that switch that got flipped in my brain, alcohol is obliteration. So whatever the person is experiencing that they don't want to deal with, the alcohol literally obliterates it where it doesn't exist for that time. But it also obliterates everything else. It across the board. That's what alcohol does. And I know because I drink a whole bunch of it. Meanwhile, I never had a drinking problem before the events of the last several years, but then I became a daily drinker. And looking back on it, I was attempting to take myself out through a loophole, because spiritually, I don't think it's an option to take myself out. I was attempting to do that through a loophole of killing myself with alcohol. And I already had these health issues for many years leading up to that. This was not caused by alcohol. Alcohol didn't cause it.
Interesting point about the loophole. I see people do it with cigarettes all the time. You're kind of taking yourself out without taking yourself out, which means you're just doing it anyway. Maybe there's a weird, I find an interesting, there's an interesting, let's say, behavior that I find in men and women is that we're often, maybe always, our own worst enemy, dude. Benton, I see it in myself, dude. The only person that can fuck with me in my life is me, which is empowering in some ways. But because I find when other outside forces try to come against me, it never works, and it only actually gets turned back on them. The whole concept of no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I noticed that. It seems to be energetic. People's attempts at me only seem to benefit me and work to their detriment. But I find I'm my own worst enemy, man. And that just might be something that might be the weird trick about being a man or a woman is that we're fucking our own destroyers in this realm. Whether it's bits of alcohol every day, puffs of cigarette every day, or just not doing the right things, not behaving the right way. It's a fascinating concept. So I got other people in the back, Benton. Did you want to stay up here, or did you want to maybe just call the segment quits, dude? And what do you want to do, dude?
Yeah, I don't do so good on the panels myself, so I like the one-on-ones, and I appreciate you having me up. And again, kudos to you for being one of the few people. I mean, in the live stream host format, there's a lot of people in the live chat that have expressed various things over time, but to actually be curious and want to know what's going on, and realistically, we're just not going to have enough time to get to the bottom of all of it, today. But anytime you think I can add something to the broadcast, or if you're curious, I obviously love to hear myself talk. So, I'm down anytime, and I appreciate you having me on, and I will hang up and listen, sir.
Much love, Benton. I dropped a few links if people want to come check you out and stuff. Much love, dude. We'll talk to you sometime soon.
Indeed, sir. Thank you.
Right on, man. Benton. I'll let you guys make what you want out of that segment. It's funny, listeners. There's so many people that are trying to tell me that, no, Z show's not valuable, that I'm basically wasting my time here. I don't know. It's funny. A lot of people trying to tell me what to say, what to talk about, and belittle and minimize me. I don't have to mention names. Strange. If you don't see what we're doing here, Or maybe you're just insanely jealous. I don't know. But I don't want to make it about me. I don't want to make it about little old me here. Let's bring up London, man. London, welcome to the stream.
Salute, Z. Grand Rising. Mic check, mic check.
You sound good. A lot of background noise. I'm guessing you're back in that coffee shop again. But you sound good.
Yes, sir. I'm in the coffee shop. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, interesting segment, bro. That was fucking awesome. That was awesome. This is the shit that I'm talking about when we need good vibes, right? You set the tone right there and then, bro. That was fucking awesome. Salute to you and Benton. That was awesome. Good vibes. Good vibes.
I appreciate that, London, man. Isn't it weird that certain people want to tell me that I'm wasting my time here and that I should be speaking about other things on others' platforms? And I don't know, dude. I don't know, London, man. What else can I say, dude? What else can I say?
Don't say nothing at all. That's how we move, bro. We don't say nothing at all. We just let our results get shown by every time we turn up, right? We don't say nothing else other than let our results do the talking. Cool.
Yeah.
Salute to that. Now, Z, I got some information for you, bro. I mean, I don't mean to take it off topic, right? But it looks like Tommy, to some degree, may have been right with this globe shit, bro. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy, Z.
Are you saying that indeed Illumitami has proven the globe? He's the guy who did it?
Listen, what I'm trying to say is we all owe Tommy an apology, bro. We owe an apology, bro. It's crazy. Crazy. I swear to God, Z. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro. I don't want to admit it, but he may have been half right. Hey, listen, this is what I was talking about, Z, when I say NASA, you know, the 80-20 rule, what Campbell was saying, autodidactic, because they was telling you the truth to some degree, bro. And you know me and my research, bro, is spot on. And they was telling us the truth, bro, but it's the way how they define it and show us. That is all I want to say, bro. It's fucking crazy, Z. Part 8 is ready. I finished part 8. I'll be showing that on Friday. Before I upload it permanently, I'm going to show it on Friday, bro. All I want to say is Tommy was half right. But if Tommy's right, that means London man's right as well. You understand? If Tommy's right, that means London man is right. That's all I want to say. Crazy.
Well, do you care to let us in on this amazing revelation from Tommy, who half proves the globe, apparently? Or do you want to save it for your release?
Well, I mean, no, I'm going to save it. I just want people to think, you know, not everything NASA tells us is a lie, right? That is all I want to say. And I've been saying that, bro. I've been saying that. I'm going to mute up. And if you want to bring anybody else up, more than welcome.
Yeah, right on. I'm going to bring Timmy up because Timmy's coming with might be somewhat of a controversial take here this morning, which is good. This is what we expect from Timmy. Timmy, notice I mentioned the radical accountability philosophy, which that's my that's how I conceptualize your approach, is the radical accountability approach. Yeah, Angela Baby Carson wants proof of how Illumitami half proved the globe. Angela, could you imagine if Illumitami is the one who proves all of us flat earthers to be morons? He's the guy. Angela, do you think Dave Weiss will give Tommy those 3 Bitcoins he's offering for globe globe proof? Yeah.
Hey, when I mean he was right, I don't mean on the outside of the globe. I mean on the inside. Let's get that right. On the inside of the globe. Right?
Gotcha. Well, globe could mean a lot of things, London, man. I think about this a lot. When you talk about a toroidal field, it seems like a globe. But anyway, let's get to Timmy, because I think Timmy has some things to contribute this morning based off this concept. Angela says she's still on the floor laughing. I don't know. Part of me wants to talk about the pictures of Angela when she's in the tub and her beautiful, smooth ass and boobies. But again, then people would just say Z's simping. And Angela, I don't want to take away from the general gravitas of the show that we had this morning, where we got to basically destroy the medical system. We got to have another touching moment with Benton. But now I just want to talk about Angela Baby Carson's kind of sexy body. I don't know, whatever. Let me bring Timmy up. Timmy,
Ahoy.
what's going on? What's going on, man? So
What's up?
I've seen some of your comments in chat this morning, Timmy, towards Benton, and let's just take it as a conversation. We don't even have to make it like whatever. It doesn't have to be an argument. But what are your thoughts, dude?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I have really ultimately let me just preface what I say a lot, because I never get to say this, but when I say things and like I criticize, I'm only doing that because I really do deeply believe that we are, if not infinite, if not unlimited, like way more powerful than we act and are. So let me preface that first, because I don't just criticize and say negative things about folks to put them down. I really want them to see that they're better. So that being said, I don't accept that Benton like to be in the position and be sick and to only be like 50. Right? I don't know about karma. Like, I don't know about multiple lives. Maybe God wants to pick out people before they grow old, and I don't know about that. It could be the case, right? But if it's not that, then I don't accept that somebody knows so much about health and then go and has the arrogance to go, oh, I already know this. I already know all this stuff. Yet you're sick and dying. Like, that's a joke.
Timmy, let me hold on, Timmy.
That's a joke. That's like being broke and then saying, oh, I already know how to make money, but that's stupid, or like you can't tell me how to do it. It's like, that's laughable.
Timmy,
Yeah.
how much do you know about pancreatic cancer?
Nothing.
All right, hold on. So you don't know what the outcomes are for pancreatic cancer. You don't know what the mortality rate is for it.
I
Right.
don't accept the AMA, and like I don't accept the like allopathic definitions or the DSM-5 or all of that about how they even classify things as diseases. Like, I don't even accept that, and I don't know why most people do. Yeah, there's maybe something malfunctioning in his body, and like, but to say that it's broken, I just reject that generally.
Mm-hmm.
That there's things in our body that are broken and there's no way to fix them. I just think that's horseshit. But this is just my opinion.
Yeah, I get that, man. From a philosophical perspective, but I've brought this up before with you, Timmy. I might as well do it again. Is that I wonder, I'll speak in generalities, that those who have a type of radical accountability philosophy, I often wonder whether or not that position is based on and associated with one's current circumstances in life.
But
And I
why
often
do you always
wonder,
go back to that? Because
that's
you
the
go
way I
back
think,
to that,
dude.
but like, yeah, but
Because
how
I
do you
wonder,
think
because
I
Timmy,
get
hold
to that?
on.
How
I'll
does a
let you
person
go.
get to being healed? Like,
Because
healing already healed.
Here's what I wonder. I wonder if your circumstances change tomorrow. I wonder if your philosophy would or wouldn't change. I just wonder, dude.
Right. This is an impossible situation, though, right? Because if I'm managing my body and my mind to the point where I'm never sick, and then you say, "Oh, well, you're just lucky," it's like you can't prove to me that I'm just lucky, and I can't prove to you that I'm just not putting myself into disease and getting sick. I mean, like,
Timmy,
so that's the
this is
first thing, right?
it's a philosophical debate. Let me ask you. It goes back to, do bad things happen to good people? We could start there with a question, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, again, like I just preface this by saying perhaps there are some things that old Sky Daddy may plan, and it is totally out of our control. But I say, like, besides that, like, besides some kind of divine plan for one's life, some kind of divine intervention, I don't accept that random things happen to us. I really don't. I really do feel and believe and logically think that we are the captains of our fate and the directors of our lives. And the circumstances are a reflection of our inner conviction.
Let's bring up Lou Bass. He seems like he wants to talk to you. Lou, welcome back to the stream.
How's it going, Z? Sorry, I can't see you guys, so I can't find my glasses. But you know, you got two vegans up here, Vinny, London McLovin, and Timmy.
I'm not a
They're
vegan.
both-
Who told you I'm a vegan?
Well,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm not
I
aware
thought
of that
you were
with
vegan.
Timmy.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, no.
I eat meat
If
like
you're
once
not
a
vegan,
week.
that's fine. But what I was going to say is that the disease, as far as I'm concerned, from what I've come to understand, and I'm not a medical person, I'm not, you know, the most well-read person in the world, but I've learned quite a bit when it comes to physical health. And the one thing that I figured out for sure, and there's not a lot anybody can change my mind on this, we are carnivores. Human beings are naturally built as carnivores. It's no question. Everything about our physiology is designed to consume meat.
So here's
No
the thing.
one can change that fact. Now you can
Hold
do
on,
whatever
Lou.
you
Hold on, Lou. Hold on. I can agree with you. I would say omnivore is probably a better word to use than carnivore, but I understand the sentiment. Now, London
We're
Man, are
much
you
more
still
carnivore than we are omnivorous.
Yeah. London Man, are you
We know
there?
the rap, Lou.
London?
You know the rap.
Yes, still here, Z. Still here.
All right, because you're the vegan. Timmy said he's not vegan, but you are.
I
How
thought
would you
said
respond?
You were vegan, Timmy.
I never.
You
When did I
said-
say I was vegan?
Or that you basically eat mostly plants. At some point, you said that.
Yeah, I said I just said I eat meat once a week, perhaps.
Yeah.
Okay, and right now you're young, but that will catch up to you. Like
Hold on, I'm
I'm
gonna put Timmy in the back only because I want to get the
Throw me there.
vegan. Huh?
Throw me there.
I'm
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm gonna because you know I got a vegan and a guy. I got a vegan and a guy who says he's a carnivore up here. So you know I got to go with this one, Timmy. You
Do it. Do it.
All right. All right. So I've gone through this with you two before. Lou Bass, you've insinuated in the past that London Man may even be somewhat, let's say, acting in a detrimental fashion with his children because he
Yes,
doesn't feed
he
them meat.
absolutely
All right.
is.
So, all right.
Yes.
So, London Man, he's confirming it. How would you address that, London Man? You obviously would disagree with that, or else you wouldn't be doing it. Do you feel as though your children are missing out because they're not consuming meat?
No, he's hurting his children. They're not missing out.
I'm asking
He's
him.
doing detrimental damage.
Lou,
to
if you
children.
can't participate in the dialogue, we're not going to have it.
Well, Z, I feel like me keeping my children and my loved ones away from meat, dairy, and all that stuff, I feel like they're dodging death. I feel like I've kept them away from death to a certain degree, right? People might think different, you know, but that is how I feel. I'm keeping them away from slowly killing themselves, you know, like stuff with alcohol, cigarettes, and all these things. I put meat and all those things in the same category, right? Alcohol, meat, and all that type of stuff. So I look at it like I'm doing a good job until they get older and they can decide for themselves. With all the chemicals that's being pumped into all this shit, right? I don't want to be the reason why when my children reach a certain age, they start to develop shit inside their body, knowing that daddy and mummy could have prevented this if we kept them away from those things while they was young, right? Without their discernment. They're young, they don't know what they're putting in their body, right? We're the ones putting it in their body for them, Z. So what am I going to look like if I feed them death to my fucking children? Thinking it's making them grow, but it's doing the complete opposite, killing them on the inside. And I land it right there.
Go ahead, Lou.
I respond.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, you have to understand something, London man. We have been when I say we, I mean the Western world in general has been systematically brainwashed from little children, starting with Disney and all these anthropomorphic bullshit fucking TV shows and ideas. And you can go through every mainstream media you want. I don't give a shit from now back as far as you want. It's always directed towards keeping us away from our natural state as carnivores. We're always being pushed towards the plant world as being our natural source of sustenance, right? That's mainstream. And as far as I'm concerned, I've learned in my 60 years that anything that's mainstream, I'm probably much more intelligent if I turn away and walk the other direction. So if the mainstream is telling me something is black, in my heart, I could almost be assured it's white. And that's how it goes when it comes to our natural diet. I hate the word they, but I'm going to use it because people understand it. They want us sick, stupid, broke, and dependent. And the sick is the number one factor that helps them keep us that way. And until we get that, our mind is in dis-ease. Go for yourself, London man, and just watch a couple of little things with these Hadza people in Africa. They go hunt every day. They eat monkeys and birds and everything that they can kill. Occasionally, they have some root vegetables if they don't have enough meat. They dig up some roots because they got a lot of water in them and it fills their belly. But otherwise, it's strictly meat. 20-year-olds are running all day long alongside their 80-year-old grandfathers. They run side by side. Their grandfathers have just as much muscle mass and stamina and stability and everything you can think of as their 20-year-old grandsons. And they eat nothing but meat, motherfucker. And you're denying this to your children.
All right, let me rebuttal that. Cool.
Don't rebut nothing.
Let me rebuttal. All right, cool. Let me rebuttal that, bro. Let me rebuttal that. This guy's talking about disease and all these things, right? Listen, you know when they chop up the meat and feed it to you guys, right? You know there's fucking cancerous cells in the shit. You know there's abscess with pus leaking out of the stuff. There's death within death. You're eating death within death, bro. There's slime leaking out of all this meat stuff. There's slime leaking out all this meat stuff you're eating. There's cancer hiding in the meat. There's cancer hiding in the meat. You understand what I'm saying? Cancer, bro, hiding in your meat. And you want to sit up here like it's all fun and games. There's cancer hiding in your meat. Hiding in your meat. There's disease hiding in your meat. Disease is hiding in your meat, and you want to talk about being diseased. And
that's all you got?
Of course. That is all I need.
Your job as a father, as my opinion, is to do your very level best in everything in the world to falsify your beliefs. Not hold your beliefs up and make them stronger. No, you have to try to weaken your beliefs. Because the only way you can arrive at the truth is by falsifying or fighting against your beliefs.
Look, we got a butcher down there in the comment. Look at the butcher. Look what the butcher's telling you, bro. You got a butcher down there. Salutes to... Where's the butcher gone? Did you see him? He grifted. Look, 20 years, bro. He's saying I'm right. 20 years, a butcher is telling you this. Cancer and these things is hiding in your food, bro. They're playing peekaboo with you, Lou. You got cancer.
Butcher's probably a vegan who's playing some game. Come on.
Hey, Grifted, are you a vegan or do you eat meat, family? Let them know.
If
because
he's not a vegan, he's retarded.
Okay.
What can I tell you?
All right.
Bro, everything about our anatomy is designed to process meat. Everything. We have an extremely short digestive tract, comparatively, to other animals, extremely short, even shorter in comparison to dogs and lions. So we're actually more carnivorous than dogs and lions. We have an extremely high stomach acid. It's between 1 to 1.5. We're in the limit of scavengers like vultures, hyenas, Komodo dragons. That's the stomach acidity that those animals have. They have that acidity in order to break down meat and extract its fat, nutrients, whatever the nutrients are in the meat. Right? Everything about our system is designed that way. We have a brain able to make tools. We were able to take down mastodons. 1,500, what am I talking about? 5,000 pound buffaloes that lived prehistorically. We would take these down with little sticks because we had a brain, and we optimized our, instead of strength, teeth, and running ability, speed, we optimized for our brain. You know how much calories it takes to run a brain of the size that we have? And our brain is all cholesterol, 99% cholesterol, and some collagen to hold it together. Right? We optimized for our brain. So we didn't have all these other things that lions had. The lions have teeth, claws, speed, strength. We don't have none of that. But we beat the lions with our fucking brain. And now our brain is so idiotically fucking mind controlled that we've forgotten who we are. We are hunters by nature. And as long as we forget that, then we've fallen short of what the spirit put us here to be, in my opinion. Our spirit, whatever it is, this infinity world, whatever it is that we're living in, put us into this physical body. It put us here to experience this, in my opinion. It's just how I see it, right? But all we do in this flesh, which we can't see, really we can't see the spirit. We can maybe feel it, but that's it. But I believe there's a time when we leave this physical flesh, that the answers are, the questions are gone. There is only answers left the minute we leave this flesh. I believe that. But as long as we're in this flesh.
Hey, you're too long-winded, hey, bro. I want to have a dialogue with you. You're too long-winded, bro. Come on, relinquish the shit, bro. You're being too long-winded, bro. That rebuttal shit, like, let me rebuttal you back. You're being too long-winded. Like, pass that shit, pass that, mate.
I'm winded because I have an extreme phobia for speaking in public. And when it hits me, I stop breathing and it becomes sort of unconscious. So that's my problem. Sorry. Feel better just saying.
All right. This is what I want to say to you now, right? If there is a creator, right, who created you and your family and everybody else, who put them on this planet, right? A creator. Now, I'm saying this. When the creator created us and everything in this realm, right? Do you think he said, okay, I'm going to create the creation, but not make them any food? I'm going to let them kill and eat each other and not make them any food. Do you think that's how it went? Or do you think he said, all right, I'm going to create everything and give them their own food supply? So
he
nobody... let me go, bro. Let me talk my shit. Go ahead. Right? Or do you think he said, I'm going to create everything and give them their own food supply, so my creation doesn't have to kill each other? Do you think that's how it went? Or do you think he done the complete opposite and said, yo, you lot can just kill each other, go on, even though there's ground food you can eat, but you can kill each other, I don't care about my creation? How do you think that went?
Are you can I speak now?
Go ahead, yeah.
Okay. Are the lions evil for killing a gazelle? Is a lion evil for doing that? Yes or no?
Sorry.
Is a lion evil for eating a gazelle? Listen, to be honest with you.
Is a lion evil for killing and eating a gazelle? Sometimes eating half of its body from behind alive.
No, this is the thing.
So it's not evil.
Listen, hold on, let me go. How do we know that is this normal way of eating? right? That is a scavenger mode. I don't look at a lion as a scavenger. I think something happened in this realm where even the apex predators got their food supply system wiped off the earth, right? When you look at some of the animals, right? Even let's go back to the monks and these things. I see them raise tigers, right, with no meat products. I see them kill.
Whoa! I have to stop
Yeah.
you, bro. I have to stop you because you're completely wrong. I know
Okay.
100%.
Okay. Go ahead.
I
Tell
know
me where
what
I'm
they
wrong.
do.
Tell me.
Okay, I know what they do. They just don't show people. Okay, they go and buy the most processed, crappy, harmfully raised chickens raised in the dark just so they get fat. And they go buy they don't buy them because they buy it with donated money. So they take it from the people. And they get the worst, disgusting, most horribly treated animals because they're cheap. They chop it up, they boil it, and they feed it to those tigers. And if you look at those tigers, they're 5 times overweight because they're cooking all their meat, right? And they're adding breads and they're adding grains into them. And these tigers are all overweight. They can barely move, let alone eat one of these fucking skinny little monks who dies at fucking 40.
Look who's talking. You must be the tiger, bro. You listen. That ain't a natural body. What you got?
I'm a junkie too, and I eat a bread. That's my problem. That's my junk today.
Hey, Lou, I fucking love you, you
Bro,
horrible.
I'm not trying to fuck with you. I'm not, eh? I love you, brother. I don't
Come
even
on.
know you, but I love you because you're just
Likewise, Lou.
a being on this earth.
Likewise,
But you
Lou.
are, in my opinion, you're harming your children. Just look up vegans jailed for killing their children because they're giving them a vegan diet, and they're convicted for manslaughter, for child abuse or whatever the fuck, because their children die. They're so staunch that they don't give them any animal fats, any animal protein.
All right, Lou, listen, riddle me this, right? If that's the case, why do we have a nation of people that is fucking just vegan and vegetarians? The Asian, the Indians, and these things, the Buddhists. Why are they
The
not eating
Asians
meat?
and the
Why?
Indians are
Listen,
not vegan. Nothing close to vegan.
listen, vegan or vegetarian, whatever you want to call it, right? There's a whole nation of these people, and they're living and they're thriving. They're living, they're thriving, bro. They're not dying. They're not dying.
There is no society, no indigenous group ever been found on the earth that was not connected to what we've created, this world, this society, whatever you want to call it, this what we've created. There is no indigenous group, no historic group that was ever vegan or even vegetarian. They're all 90 to 99% meat hunters, all the humans in history. And you could look at the most healthiest of humans. Sometimes they died young, yes, but not because they were sick, because they were fucking trying to kill some elephant and the elephants ran it over. So he died at 30, right? So that brings down the overall age of these prehistoric people, because a lot of them died in dangerous situations. They had bears that were fucking 6,000 pounds back then, right? So we are I don't know. I was going somewhere with it. I forgot. Bring me back, Z. Oh, I was going to his children, right? You're taking this away without even doing the serious research to falsify your beliefs. Look at the human anatomy compared to a monkey's anatomy. You can even find representations.
I'm looking at you, bro.
Pictures of the monkey to the human. It's like a monkey looks like a cow internally, minus the 3 extra stomachs.
See, Lou, hold on, Lou. This is where it's difficult now, because I'm looking at you and I can't tell whether you're the monkey or the cow or Lou. You look like 3 things in one, bro.
You go there, right?
All right, hold on. Isn't it weird? Like, Lou was like smoking a joint and like eating a steak at the same time. It was that's kind of weird. Like he's like intermittently. Hold on. Lou, so you're smoking a joint and eating at the same time. How are you doing
I put the
that?
joint out. I got the munchies. I ate something.
All right, that's weird to me, man. That's fucking weird, man. Who else is back here? Let's set up Real McCoy. The Reals, are you still there, Reals McCoy? Let me bring you up.
Yes, sir. Is Lou still? Peace to you, Z. Salute to the chat. Is Lou still there? Because I had a few questions. Would you mind just like 2 minutes? I just had a couple, 1 or 2 questions for Lou.
You have questions for Lou? Okay.
Yeah, just
let's
real
bring
quick,
Lou
because I
in.
mean he said a lot, and if he's still there,
Yeah. Go ahead.
salute to you, Lou. Peace to you, Z. Thanks for having me. Finally got a chance to contribute to your morning show. You be on so many. Your vibe is all live, you know, and I just never really found a place that I can jump in. But here is one. But Lou, you have a cross around your neck. Are you into the Bible? Are you Christian?
I have a piece of silver in my neck that shows the representation of what people believe Jesus looked like.
I'm asking you a question. Are you into the Bible? Are you
No, I'm not
associated
into
with
the Bible. I know about the Bible. I've read some of the Bible, not all of it. I understand what I understand about it, but I'm not a Bible thumper.
I didn't ask if you were a Bible thumper. I'm just saying, are you into the Bible? I mean, do you put any value at all into the Bible?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you. Okay. In the Bible, the second thing that God told man was what to eat. He told them to eat of the trees that have fruits that had seeds in it, and the plants that have seeds in it. That is your food.
Mm-hmm.
And to the animals, okay? That's the second thing other than be fruitful and multiply. You go to the book of Daniel, when the king was going to give Daniel food from the king's table, and Daniel said, no, give me vegetables and water for 10 days and come back and test me.
Because he wanted to starve himself for a while so he can.
However, I'm just saying, if you place a value in the Bible, the Bible promotes eating of the fruits and the plants that have seeds.
It also.
I'm just making that statement.
Yeah. Okay.
So now, also, you said earlier that the digestive. What was your quote?
The digestive tract is.
You said we have a shorter digestive tract. All right. Now let's go.
In comparison.
Listen. I have your quotes. Okay. All right. Now you say we have a shorter digestive tract. Mm-hmm. Do you know that it takes up to 48 hours to digest meat?
How do you know this?
Well, I mean,
are you following a piece of meat through your digestive tract?
Listen,
with a camera, with
I've eaten meat.
What are you using
I look around.
to track this?
Just look around. Just look around you.
Told this?
No, I can see it. I'm surrounded by meat eaters. I was once one of them. And you can see that your body is storing. We're not giving our bodies enough time to digest what we've eaten. I don't need to research. I can look around me.
Have you tested the theory?
Have I tested the theory?
Yes.
Of course, I was once a meat eater.
Have you fasted for 2-3 days so that your system is completely clear? Only water for 3-4 days, whatever.
Yes.
And then went eat some vegetables, whatever you think they are.
Okay.
See how long it takes to go through your system.
Yes.
Eat some meat, and after you fast again, then eat some meat and see how long it takes you to get to your system. You haven't done that.
I mean, I see it by my weight gain when I do
Someone told you this, bro.
No, my body told me this.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful. You only know this because someone told you this. I've seen not human insides, but I've seen plenty of videos and pictures of the human insides literally set beside monkey insides, and you could see the difference.
So what explains your obesity?
I'm not obese, bro.
You are obese.
I'm 60 years old, bro.
But you're obese. You're overweight.
Yeah, I eat a little too much bread, too much plants. Yes, I do eat. See, my stir fry. In my stir fry, I even got peppers. What else? Beans. I eat vegetables. I probably shouldn't.
See, you know what? I was meaning it. I just think this guy is How
A
many
joke.
children?
I know.
Do you have
I'm
children?
just a dumb wop. What do I know?
Do you have children?
Yeah, I got 4 children.
4 children? Oh, okay.
All extremely healthy. Ate plenty of meat. Plenty of meat. They're all very healthy, good-looking kids. Smart. You know, and as a matter of fact, my oldest daughter, when she was young, I got to find the pictures one day and show it to you guys. There was one little girl in her class that was constantly talking about veganism. You guys got to stop eating meat. You got to this. Their parents were vegan. And you look at the pictures, the school pictures, you see all these kids basically the same height, all of them. And then in the middle, this little girl that wasn't 50 pounds, 50, I don't think she was 30 pounds. And all the other kids are 70, 80, 90 pounds. And she's 30 pounds, white, black eyes.
Bobby, you there?
Good morning, Z, Dr. Z. How are
Hey,
you?
Bobby. What's poppin', dude?
Well, I tell you what, I stayed out of that dollar store yesterday.
Well, it's a good thing, not only for you, but for everybody else, because these journeys to the dollar store seem like they involve a lot of stuff, and there might be some, safety issues we need to worry about with you driving around there with your mind in the clouds, looking for that poontang. Good for you.
Yeah, I did get out yesterday, but I didn't go very far, and I knew where I was going, so it wasn't necessary to use the GPS yesterday. But I will use it if I need to today. Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Besides your simping, we can get on to that. What do you think about this morning's...
Ex-simping.
Nice. You're an ex-simpinator. You moved on that quickly. Hey.
Yes, sir.
Seems like you're a fast learner.
I did have to go to the circle. I'm sorry, I'm talking over you.
How dare you? What do you think of this morning's conversations? What do you think?
Oh man, this is definitely an episode that I want to replay and take notes. This was a really, really good show today. Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of people like to come here and they kind of want to minimize what's going on here, and I don't know, Bobby. Maybe they're not listening. Maybe they just really don't care and they're just worried about themselves. But I appreciate that, dude.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that. So back to your simping. I'm sure that's what the crowd wants to hear. Are you going to be truly an ex-simper? See, here's the thing about simping, Bobby, and you're showing us that as a 75-year-old man who's still displaying all the characteristics of simpage. We know old habits die hard, man. I mean, it's not easy just to change our habits overnight. So to say you're an ex-simper, probably going to be difficult to undo 75 years of damage. But at least we got to explore the consequences of said actions. Moving forward with your interactions with the ladies, how do you envision it? How do you see yourself going forward? Are you looking for a life partner? Are you just looking for somebody to spend time with, just experience the energy of the opposite sex? Where are you with that whole thing?
I've already tested it out. I had to go to the convenience store, and I tell you what, in a rainstorm. And so I made it inside the Circle K, the convenience store, and sure enough, two ladies in there that I have to interact with to buy stuff at the convenience store. So they know me pretty well, and let me tell you, I walked in there a free man, and I had an totally different interaction with both of these ladies.
This is interesting. So Bobby, I'm wondering if we're not viewed as the creepy old man. It's good that you're kind of evaluating your behaviors now, because You seem like you were just programmed to interact in a certain way with these women, dude.
Really, really. Yeah, I thank you for nailing me on this. I got some relief. I experienced that freedom. I sure did. I sure appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate that from you, Bobby. Let's see if London Man, are you there? Do you have any comments on what Bobby's laying down this morning, bro? He apparently has been behaving and acting certain ways with women probably throughout his whole life, and he's recently come to the understanding that maybe he could alter his behaviors and thoughts and things like that and approach his daily activities a bit different, dude. Do you have any thoughts on that, London Man?
Yeah, definitely. And excuse me for the background noise again. And that's a cool hat, by the way, Bobby. I can tell he's sincere in the things he says, right? Especially when he's talking to us. I feel like he's still learning, even though he's older than us. He's still learning, and I feel like he has things to offer us. Also, that's why he's here. He likes to listen. I can see he listens as well. He's a listener. But I would say to Bobby, just to continue in what he's doing. No matter how much you show people who you really are on this metaverse and in real life, they're still going to take it and show you something different. They're still going to look at you in a different way. Even though you show them all your hands and your cards, they're still going to treat you like you didn't just show them what's really up. Right? They're still going to show us that. But you're a cool guy, Bobby. You're a cool guy, and that's all I really want to say, man. I like when you come over here. You don't bring a negative energy like most of these people in the chat room and all these older folks, older than me. So I can learn a lot from you. Bobby. And less of the simping. And that's it, really.
Yeah. That's so interesting, Bobby. I'm just picturing your interactions with these ladies around town. And you now trying to, reform some of those habits. It's we live in a strange world because it's kind of a crossover time. And because we almost have a schizophrenic way to look at people. We were always taught that women were the fair of the species, sugar and spice and everything nice, and they should be treated with chivalry and X, Y, and Z. But at the same time, we have a world now where we have a female vice president, women leading corporations, the independent women, the boss bitches of the world, the 50-50 relationships. And they're basically two opposing concepts of how, females should be looked at in this society. And what I find, Bobby and London Man, is when we leave it to the women to decide how to act, they typically behave in whichever manner favors them in the moment. My point is, when it benefits them to be the fair ladies, the damsels in distress, the sugar and spice, they'll do so. They'll use that. But when it benefits them to be, quote unquote, equal and egalitarian in all circumstances, they use that. It's a double standard that women, and I don't blame them, they probably do it unconsciously. But what does that say about us? Shouldn't we as men, as males, hold them to whatever standard is most appropriate? If we're all equal, if we're all egalitarian, if both of our votes matter, if we have equal weight in a relationship, well, then we should be treated as such. But it begs the question, London and Bobby, why aren't women treated the same in court? Why, when a husband and wife go through a divorce and they go through the family courts, why are women consistently given the advantage? Why is the mother given the advantage over the dad? Why is it assumed mom's going to get custody and dad's going to pay child support unless he fights his ass off? I thought this was a egalitarian society. It's a double-edged sword. It's a double standard. And frankly, I feel like it's an important topic. Go ahead, Bobby. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I think this mother role that the women have and have had, forever, it's a very powerful role. I think it's even recognized by the court system,
Right. Shouldn't the court be blind when it comes to matters like this? I mean, look at the Modern Family. You have two men are married with children and have to have divorces. Two women married with children who go through divorce. And then, of course, the standard marriage of the man and the woman. I guess my point is that at this point, if we're going to live in a society where we ignore gender, ignore sexuality when it comes to our place within the legal code, in the legal system, well, then shouldn't justice be blind? Why are men and women still treated differently in the eyes of the law? Why, when you look at domestic disturbances and you see the numbers of men and numbers of women prosecuted and arrested in these type of things, you see such a disparity? Why is that still there? Why do the courts lean to the women, especially the family courts? It begs the question. But anyway, let me bring up the rest of the panel so we can close it out. Nice show today, everybody. Bravo, bravo, and encore. And any final thoughts from the panelists before we all move on?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Go
go.
ahead,
Z.
Lou.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna
No,
go.
we-
I'm just gonna say this, Z. You really don't get Paul's message. What you just said, eh? I don't think you understand Paul's message at all. I think you should take a second look and see what the message really is. I think that's important for you. Forget about the
Why did you just bring? I have no clue what you're referencing. Did I?
what
Who
you
brought
just
up
said,
Paul?
all
I'm
the
not
things
sure
you
what you're
just said about women and the courts and marriage and blah blah blah,
Right.
shows that you do not understand what Paul's message is.
Let me ask you, what makes you think I'm interested in understanding Paul's
You
message
don't
in
have
regard
to,
to
but
this?
it would benefit you. It would benefit the
Right,
rest of us
right.
too. Because if you were
Gotcha,
able to
gotcha,
understand that, you would be able to stop this system that is geared gynocentrically. But you're not willing to stand up against it. You're just willing to talk about it.
Fair enough, Lou. Much love, brother. Anything else for us?
I love you. Go fuck yourself.
Back at you, Lou. Much love, Lou. Much love. Well, final thoughts.
I'll give my final thoughts. I'll just say this: that was an advertisement for the meat tards. Like just the way Lou just tried to advertise his point to Z is like horrible salesmanship. All right, that's it. Later, guys.
I agree. Hey, that was creepy, man. This is what I'm saying, bro. The Adams family is proving me right, bro. They're proving me right. Look at the shape of them. Look at how they look, right? And this is coming from Mr. Lou Bass. This is coming from Mr. Lou Bass. He's acting like,
You cannot take anything that Lou Bass says seriously. You cannot take what anybody who eats roadkill, you cannot take seriously at all. None whatsoever. Nothing that comes out of his mouth can be actual coherence or logical. It's complete and utter delusion. Most likely from the chemical reactions of eating dead flesh that was hit by a car on the side of the road. But that's my take. I mean, I'm not a scientist. But yeah, no. You can't trust someone that eats roadkill. You just can't.
hey, not only that, you can't trust somebody who sits up under another fat guy talking all this crap, right? You can't trust these fat people out here, bro. And I leave it like that. Hey, Z, I'm out. Much
You
love.
can't trust him because if he hits you, you know, he might pick you up, put you in the trunk, and fucking have you for lunch.
All right, Bobby. Any final thoughts, Mr. Bobby?
Well, thank you very much for the show today. It was really enlightening. I mean, I feel like we had a lot of diversity, a lot of debate, a lot of people were listening and contributing. And I want to go back and look through the chat and get the replay on this one for sure. Thank you so much.
Much love, Bobby. Much love. Good luck, Bobby, in your efforts to curb your simping behaviors. Even at 75 years old, I guess we can all change. You know, at least have the desire. All right, Pat, you're up here. How do you feel today, Pat, after yesterday's very special, very touching episode?
Very good. But I went on Paul's panel yesterday, and fucking Jack, the only one, like, not the only one, but I figured there would be some kind of a lowlife out there that would fucking, make fun of me because I cried on your show yesterday. And I expect something like that from Illumitami or fucking Snafu Snaps or fucking, even, but fucking Jack. Jack, man, what a fucking. Anyway, he apologized. I accept his apology, but fuck, man, what a fucking prick he was, man.
I have a hard time believing that, OTW, that Jack would go there. Maybe he was just lashing out in response to maybe something that you said to him, or
no, he
what do you
said,
think?
he was acting in that manner because of the fact that I had played the Talcott clip collection, a couple of videos, and I used that to represent Jack because somebody was asking who's Jack, and I was like, well, there's a perfect opportunity to play a Talcott clip collection, right?
Oh, so he didn't like the way he was being represented, likely. So he went after you crying.
Yeah, he wanted me to talk about his spiritual shit and all that. I go, Jack, you don't pay me to fucking sell your shit, man. But I still made publicity for you, and you're being ungrateful, you son of a bitch.
Somehow it always comes back to Talcott. It's interesting. We can't escape Mr. Talcott. He's everywhere. ROTW, much love. Anything else before I let you go?
I gotta go to work.
There he goes. Patrick, everybody. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it. That'll bring us to the end of another Z show. Interesting show. True variety show today. I almost don't know what to say. What needs to be said? The show's over. I don't have to say anything else. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Much love, everybody. Take care of yourselves and each other. Peace.